180 Pros studio after the jaunt to DC, which we will talk about a good deal throughout the show this morning. Actually, we got a lot to cover this morning. Attorney Franz Borghardt is going to be in for a bonus legally served. Big news dropping while we're up in the Capitol last week, talking about Metro Councilman Cleve Dunn's indictments. We will talk about that. Yes, Franz.
There was discussion. He was in Washington, D.C.
I never saw him, but
he was at D.C. Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
There was discussions about arresting him at D.C. Mardi Gras and extraditing him back. I'm gonna let that percolate with you for a minute.
Okay.
I have thoughts.
Well, yeah, as do I, because why'd he go? Anyway, that's gonna be one of the many, many topics we cover this morning. But you know how we start off. It's top stories and trending. All right, before we get into top stories and trending, Bree Lynn, I need you to look at your trending stories real quick. We're going to introduce you to the shark alligator rule this morning. All right. Just letting you know. Number 5, a driver crashed into a marked police unit along I-10 westbound near the Gonzales-Burnside exit last night. According to DOTD, the crash happened shortly before 8:30 p.m., blocked all of the westbound lanes. State police said the officer was not in their vehicle when the crash happened, but the crash had the westbound lanes blocked well into the night. A man who allegedly led Baton Rouge police on a chase while driving a stolen car faster than 140 miles an hour was arrested in Krotz Springs after the vehicle ran out of gas. BRPD said an officer tried to pull over 46-year-old Takoa Woodson on Lobdell Boulevard for driving a car which was previously reported stolen. He ran out of gas on the Morganza Spillway, so close to getting some pepper jack boudin balls and billies. District 6 Councilman Cleve Dunn was officially booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on Saturday following his indictment for bribery and money laundering, this according to prison records. East Feliciana Parish Sheriff Jeffrey Travis released a statement regarding a Mardi Gras parade shooting in Clinton on Saturday that left 5 people injured, including a 6-year-old. According to Sheriff Travis, 3 suspects were taken into custody at the scene. 2 of those suspects, Noah Baskine, 19 years old of Ethel, along with a 15-year-old, were charged with obstruction of justice, attempted second-degree murder, and reckless discharge of a firearm at a parade. The third, Jason Scott, 26-year-old Baker, was charged with illegal carrying of a weapon and 2 counts of resisting an officer. Investigators do not believe that Scott was involved in the actual shootings. Number 1, it takes us right back around to... refreshing. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm frozen over here. We're going to skip number 1 for right now. What you got, Breland?
President Trump says he instructed Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem that federal agents should not engage in protests in, quote, Democrat cities, end quote, unless they ask for help.
Okay. I didn't think they were out there arresting people at protests. I thought they were arresting, the worst of the worst illegal aliens.
No matter what.
Right.
Political affiliation.
What you got, Franz?
How do you decide what a Democrat city is?
Well, look at the mayor, look at the council, look at the governor.
Okay.
So there's
a metrics for this?
I would yes.
I would guess.
Okay. I'm just asking questions.
Well, if your mayor's a Democrat, if your elected representation is primarily Democrat, you can call that a Democrat city.
A blue city, how they call it. Yeah. All right. ESPN's College Game Day is headed to Baton Rouge on February 14th, Valentine's Day, for a rival game between number 3 South Carolina Gamecocks and the number 6 LSU Tigers.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. This is the time. Look, South Carolina's kind of had Kim Mulkey's number since she's been here. This is the team. This is the time. This is happening, y'all. This is happening. I can't wait.
I know.
Like, there's so much being pushed to the center of the table in here. But did you watch yesterday morning? I didn't watch. I followed along on the LSU Sports app. But absolutely dismantled Alabama. We'll talk about that in sports.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. So, Brian, are you ready for it? We've got a shark alligator rule story.
Love
for
it.
you
If there's
this
a story
morning.
about a shark or an alligator, we try our level best to find it, cover it. Shout out to Stu for digging this one up.
Oh, okay. He has a name. His name is Ernest.
Ernst.
He's the 12-foot long, 1,009-pound great white shark being tracked by O-Search and has been spotted twice in the Gulf. January 11th off the Alabama coast, then again Friday off the coast of Mississippi.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming this way, y'all. 1,000-pound, 12-foot great white shark in our Gulf of America.
I know.
I love it. Yep. Hey, by the way, he was spotted twice over a couple of different days. I know they said 2 different times it was spotted, but in Mississippi, it was twice on like back-to-back days or like within the same week. So he's a circling out there.
I know.
And headed this way.
I was going to say he may turn around, but I could almost bet he's coming this way.
We need to get us some O-Search on the phone.
Please.
It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since we've talked to O-Search. They've gotten super duper popular ever since Shark Wars started calling them.
Right.
And they don't call us back. You know how sometimes when people get those big TV gigs, they don't call you back anymore? Unlike Franz.
I'm here for you, baby.
Right. You are the opposite of O-Search.
Until 6:50.
No, you're here until,
I don't
today.
do court. This is bonus for you.
I know.
I don't do court TV on Mondays.
Well,
mornings.
Yeah. Brian didn't get to have Franz last week. So
you and I have not been together in studio for a minute.
This year, huh?
It's been
this
like
year since Christmas.
Has it? No,
been passing
legitimately, all January.
I know. First time. So here's my question.
Yeah.
Why do big sharks, like really big 1,000-pounder sharks, come to the Gulf of Mississippi? Like, what's the deal? Is it warmer water, better eating?
He has a good point.
Humans? I mean, it's what's for dinner? I mean,
these are all questions that should be answered by O-Search. All questions I will have for O-Search. So teeing up future content.
What does shark taste like? What is 1,000?
So it depends on the shark. Thrasher shark I've had.
Okay.
It's okay, kind of tough, but it's good meat. It's good. It's good. Okay. Not as good. It's not near like nothing beats tuna, right? Solid yellowfin tuna steak
or ahi tuna. Yeah.
Well, I prefer the yellowfin. So
okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with yellowfin.
No.
Every day can't be a bluefin toro.
Here's the thing. You got good tuna out in the Gulf of Mexico, so maybe that's what the shark's looking for, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're at 612 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we take our first break, I need to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Where will you find them? Online. You will find them at industrymakes.org. Industrymakes.org. That's their home base online. Industry Makes is a group of, it's a campaign, actually, that was born out of collaboration and a need to present a united industrial front in the face of coordinated anti-industrial messaging. We see it all the time. Anytime that there's a possibility of new jobs, new contracts, new things coming to town, someone's going to protest on some front. So where is the unified front to return volley? We understand anti-industrial messages may target one company or several, but they hurt the entire manufacturing industry, which is the backbone of Louisiana's economy. If you want to learn more, visit industrymakes.org. And remember, let others make noise. We'll make everything else. Joe Biden. Oh, my God, that ad's out already?
Yeah.
By the way, and I'm not going to do this on air, but I will do it on Facebook Live. Congresswoman Letlow, and I texted her people last night to give them crap about it. She needs to get her Twitter people or her social media people in check.
Really?
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
I walked into the building this morning.
Yeah.
Said hello to everybody in this room, or one of the people in this room, and the advertisement was a trash and Letlow advertisement.
It's out there. Yeah.
Oh.
It's running right now.
I just wish you could bottle that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adobe's giving me fits. I'm logged
You got that?
account,
Okay, I was going to say, you got the email from...
It's still giving me, it's still trying to register my old. So
If
I went into the cloud, I'm on the new Guarantee Corp, but it's still not, and I've restarted the computer, so I'm gonna have to fire it out of LR.
If money weren't an object, I would hire the people that run Wendy's Twitter.
If money wasn't an object, what?
So have you ever read Wendy's X on Twitter? Twitter, that's redundant. I want those people running my social media. I want Wendy, the marketing division, in-house, out-house, I don't care. I want them running my dude. They're not just ruthless though. It is always something that is a on-point shots fired back kind of thing. It's never too petty. It's never
Vincent doesn't offer that service.
Good morning, Brian. How are you? It's been lovely. I hadn't seen you in a while. DC was great.
DC was awesome.
Yep. Are there any Mardi Gras balls left to attend? I haven't been to any. I missed
the big ones, the Endymion extravaganza and all this.
So if you're
here in Baton Rouge, we're done.
So if you're me and you're going to go to one Mardi, you got one Mardi Gras ball in you.
Yeah.
Which is the Mardi Gras ball you go to of the ones that's left? Do you go to the showcase? Do you try to do Endymion, or that's a marathon one?
If you've never been to the Endymion extravaganza, I highly recommend.
I have been to. I have been to Endymion. It is a lot of fun. It is a marathon.
Yes.
Riding in that one would be a beast.
Orion does theirs after the parade, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Also highly recommend. So do we have our cuts?
I'm gonna pull them up out of LRN.
All right then. Printed so much today. 616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Carnival season is here, and Mathern's wants to put a fresh king cake in your hands. Simply go to talk1073.com, click on the contest tab to enter. Every Thursday morning through Mardi Gras, me and Bree Lynn both. Bree Lynn actually picks the winner. I don't pick the winner. Bree Lynn picks the winner. We pick a winner, and your king cake will be waiting for you at the Kenilworth location of Mathern's. Happy Mardi Gras from Mathern's and Talk 107.3 FM. And so far, so good. I mean, everybody's thoroughly enjoyed theirs as far as I've seen. We saw online last week. Matt picked one up.
I think Matt got his.
Yeah, I think he said he got raspberry filled.
Ooh.
I know. I
So
didn't even know you get filled. I thought you had to get original. I didn't know you could get that. So
okay.
Shout out right there. But it looks like we got this week and next week. And then these are the last two times. So hop on talk1073.com. Get yourself entered to win a king cake from Mathern's. All right. We need to talk a little LSU women's basketball, not just about sports or game day coming here, but about the absolute thrashing of LSU over Alabama on Sunday. It was actually yesterday morning. We were still in church when this game tipped off. LSU, who has thus far this season been a second half team, Kim Mulkey, her halftime adjustments and her ability to draw up a play where one play changes the course of a game is beyond compare. Beyond compare. I know so many people talk about, since she's been here, so many people talk about the outfits and the bling and the personality, and all of those conversations are deserved. But when it comes down to it, if you're up by 2, if LSU's up by 2, and they need a basket to start to separate, and she's coming out of a timeout, I'm putting all the money that I have on them scoring on that possession. Whatever she's drawing up coming out of timeout, they score more coming out of an inbound than honestly anybody should. Yesterday, 40-point win. 103-63 your final score. Unbelievable stuff. 4 players scored double figures. LSU shot 56% from the floor. The Tigers also had 11 blocked shots, forced 17 turnovers that led to 24 points on the other end. Here was Coach Kim Mulkey, cut 16.
Our defense today was special. You just wish you could bottle that up and play like that every game. Guys, we just beat a very good basketball team. Do not be misled by that score. Everything that we did defensively today affected what we did offensively.
When she says very good basketball team, the Crimson Tide were 19-3 going into the game. So, yeah. Your 4 Tigers in double figures. Jada Richard had 16. Michaela Williams had 15. Zakiya Johnson had 15, and Malaysia Fulwiley had 10. So, yeah, there's some names that are on that list that didn't even get, or there's some names that are on that roster that didn't reach double figures. Flau'jae Johnson she was at 9, so not too far away. Mulkey says she's having fun coaching this team that has a lot more depth.
A lot of kids get caught up. Do I start? I'm deserved. We don't have that. As you see, I'm going to play you. It doesn't matter if you start. You just want to be in the rotation, and it makes coaching fun when you win. But I've won with teams that weren't fun to coach, and this team is fun to coach.
We are late for the Fox Business Report.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. In your face dating sounds awesome.
We'll get there. The discipline over the next 20 minutes is going to be difficult, isn't it? It's going to be difficult.
Permission to be self-deprecating. So I had an amazing.
I didn't bring this up to shit on your day.
No.
That wasn't the
know.
whole point.
I know.
You definitely have insight that I don't.
So
Yeah, because you're dating in today's world.
Yes.
Is that what the phrase is? So I spent the weekend in Rosaryville.
I love Rosaryville.
It's a very interesting retreat facility. If you've never been, folks, to Rosaryville, it's very pretty.
Oh,
it's very pretty.
Gorgeous. I love everything. I love almost everything about it. Don't go hungry.
We didn't go hungry. I will say that
awesome.
There was staff there cooking.
Yeah.
So it was, here's the thing. I've been to Rosaryville when it's swelteringly hot.
Yeah.
With mosquitoes, and now I've been where it's 22, 25 degrees, going outside, doing things. Yeah.
I that little rosary circle right there.
Oh yeah. Well, we indoors.
Oh.
One day outdoor, one day indoor. I don't feel like I'm violating any rules.
Oh, unless I see a cloud come out of me when I say Hail Mary.
Well, let me say at 20 to 25 degrees.
Yeah.
You feel it. The spirit. You feel the spirit. Anyways, point is.
Hang on. All right, how are we starting off on this chilly Monday morning out on the roads? What do we got going on? We will start off on your interstate systems as the normal volume that we see out by Denham Springs is actually a little bit slow to get started this morning. You are smooth sailing on I-12 westbound right now. You're also smooth sailing on I-10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish. 10 eastbound coming back across from West Baton Rouge looks great, as does 110. Now, on your surface streets, there's only one accident to look out for. Evangeline at Beechwood, that is being worked by BRPD. The big board says it's still in the roadway, but the big board also says the accident happened at 5 o'clock this morning, so it's been out there for more than an hour. Should be in the clearing stages pretty soon. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 173 Traffic Center. .623 Talk 173 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got a bonus legally served to get to in 60 seconds. Do need to remind you about the folks over at 180 Pros, partner, not provider, your IT partner. 180 Pros. Learn more at 180pros.com. You can call them at 330-2200. In fact, let me reiterate that. You can call them locally, 225-330-2200. Learn more about the services they offer. Learn more about how they base their success off of your success when it comes to building out or maintaining your network, keeping your business up and running, or the latest when it comes to cybersecurity. Always out in front, as far out in front as they can be. 225-330-2200 or 180pros.com. BrianHaldane.com. Well, how are you, Franz?
Good morning, folks. Brian, welcome back from DC.
Thank you.
It's good to be in the same space as you.
I'm telling you, it's been forever, man.
This is a bonus.
Yes,
bonus. You know, you go off to DC, the poop hits the fan in Baton Rouge.
It does.
We have great legal topics. You, Brian's credit, calls me in, puts me in the game, says, "Hey, come on in. We need to talk about this situation, this legal case."
It is. You know, I think it's kind of a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, mainly, and I'm going to preface what you're about to lead into. We ain't done. There's more coming.
Is that done? DUNN? Boom.
You're welcome.
Okay. District 6 Councilman Cleve Dunn was officially booked in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on Saturday following his indictment for bribery and money laundering, according to prison records. On Wednesday, Dunn was indicted on 2 counts of bribery and money laundering, along with public contract fraud, illegal split commission of commodities, and malfeasance in office. He is also being charged with multiple counts of conspiracy connected to a corruption investigation involving cats, where I believe he's on the board. According to documents obtained by our news partners at WBRZ, agents with the Louisiana Department of Justice said Dunn abused his elected position of power to secure a $50,000 contract with cats. Dunn mentioned in the indictments of former Capital Area Transit System Chief Administrator Perlina Thomas and cats contractor Jay Kolar allegedly introduced Kolar to Thomas, used his influence as a council member to issue a contract to Supreme Solutions, and profited through kickbacks from the purported owner of that company, which was Jay Kolar. While Kolar is listed as the current owner of Supreme, by the way, I'm reading this directly from WBRZ. Their coverage has been fantastic. While Kolar is listed as the current owner of Supreme Solutions, records indicate Dunn and his wife previously owned the same company. Agents, however, allege Kolar never had control of the bank account for the company. In addition, other documents obtained by WBRZ say the company was paid $50,000, at least $33,000 of which was converted to checks made out to CG. Agents have confirmed that CG is Core Group LLC, a company registered to Dunn. Let's dive in.
I'm going to preface everything I'm about to say with one. If you don't like Cleve Dunn, nothing I'm going to say is going to change that one way or another. If you love Cleve Dunn, nothing I'm going to say is going to change that one way or another.
Okay.
Number 2, he is presumed innocent.
Of course.
Okay. So when this came down, some of these crimes I had to look up. Like there was a commodities crime that they were talking about that I was like, I'd never seen that crime before. This indictment from the AG's office is a kitchen sink indictment. Well, what does that mean? She could have charged him with malfeasance and theft. Could have, that would have gotten the job done. She threw everything in there. Bribery, money laundering. Money laundering, that's in there. Malfeasance in office is in there. The big question I have looking at all this is, number 1, is this really an ethics violation and isn't criminal in nature, or is it criminal? That's number 1. Because not all public corruption, this is going to sound counterintuitive, not all public corruption is criminal in nature. It may run afoul to the ethics rules.
Okay.
Which he's been trained on. Has to get trained on every year.
Yeah.
Any public job you got to take that video every year, one hour, whatever. So put that preface to the side for a second. He's got some defenses to this. We all knew there's been rumbles subtly in the media that something was coming down.
Yep.
We knew that something was coming down. They never said his name, but they alluded to his initials as an unindicted co-defendant.
Right.
What I'm going to tell you sitting here is separate and apart from whatever we discuss about this, a long preface. separate and apart from whatever we talk about Cleve done, the more people they add to the mix of this, the more indictments we're going to see. Because at some point, the lower level guys who don't have the financial bandwidth to go the distance, 12 rounds, 15 rounds, are going to start cooperating and cutting deals. You want to know where Hoffa's body is? Let me talk to you. So that said, these allegations came down, or the indictment came down last week. When I was interviewed, I wasn't interviewed by WBRZ. I was interviewed by WAFB. Shout out to Chris Nakamoto. When I was interviewed, he was in DC Mardi Gras. I think he had already gone to DC Mardi Gras. I don't think it was a flight thing.
Hang on. We got to pause.
Okay.
News is coming up right now on Talk 107.3 FM.
Sorry. That was a lot.
What are my headphones set to? There we go. Cool. Thank you. That was a lot of preface.
I'm sorry.
No. We got
6 more weeks of winter.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
No. Well, Punxsutawney Phil says every year it doesn't apply to Louisiana. We'll get 4 different winners this week.
Cliffhanger.
Did you record that, Franz? Where it was like, "Don't tell me I know the law." That's you.
No.
It sounded like.
But remember last week when I was with
Wow.
with
I thought that was him.
when I was with, what was the soundbite? I'm a Swifty.
Yeah, I recorded it. Yeah, I have it too.
You got to make a baby
Don't
Franz
tell me what I know and don't know. I know the law is a line from A Few Good Men. That's
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Really? I thought that was.
I mean, I will record that if you make me baby Franz with it. Man, if I ever ran for office, all the recorded things I've ever said, and AI makes it so much easier to find.
Yep.
Direct flight from Baton Rouge,
That was the aim.
and then you ended up New Orleans.
Yep.
That's-
How'd you come back, New Orleans?
No, I came back Baton Rouge. I did not do the direct flight home, though, because I didn't want to stay that late. So I left earlier in the day and had a layover at DFW. Which, God, that place is too big.
It is big.
The Sky Tram or whatever it's called. Man, I rode that thing for,
Ever?
yeah.
You know the airport I really am over? Houston. Like if I never had to go to the Houston, I just if I can, I recently flew.
Bush or hobby?
I went to Atlanta recently, and I did the direct flight from Baton Rouge to Atlanta. And I've got to tell you, it was delightful. I roll into Baton Rouge Airport, 5 minutes through security. People were nice. Got myself a little coffee. Had I wanted caramel popcorn, it was right there too.
PJ's Coffee.
PJ's Coffee, no less.
PJ's Coffee at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport.
Yeah. People were nice. It was great. The lady who checked my bag in downstairs was the lady at the gate. I loved it. It was great.
Awesome. Oh, hey, we were talking about Rosaryville before.
Mm-hmm.
Christy texted. By the way, shout out. Good morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo. One of the retreats that Christy was on in Rosaryville, they had somebody like escape from a facility that was nearby.
We're locked down.
They were on lockdown in Rosaryville.
That works.
I mean,
Did they ever know? Did the retreatants ever know that?
I don't think the retreatants ever found out. I would hope they didn't.
Yeah.
You got to shuffle a lot behind the scenes to keep that below the radar. Helicopters flying over.
You and I will have a cup of coffee at some point to have a follow-up cup of coffee from our last one, and I'll talk to you a little bit about my observations of that facility. It's not Solomon Center. It's not. It's got its. There are things about it that I love, though.
Its history and its beauty make it everything.
Right. Stations were.
Well, because you follow. I mean,
well, sky pollution. Never even thought about it. Not that there's a lot of sky pollution at Solomon, but less trees.
Yes. So, if I'm being completely honest, though, and when missioned ICC. Of course, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't know this because you weren't on a retreat until I directed it.
Right. I mean, you're the gold standard
for stations.
You're the gold standard.
I'm the stations guy.
Yeah.
So, and I need to get back in the game so I can throw an elbow. I know. Just kidding. But stations for ICC. I was actually upset because they've got concrete. They've got a sidewalk there. And I think it was Alan Lars, like, you don't like the sidewalk? I'm like, the disciples didn't have concrete under their feet.
Dirt.
I don't like, if I'm walking stations, I want to be walking like the same way they did.
So fun fact.
By torchlight, you know?
But fun fact, early March, I will be walking stations in the Holy Land. So I will be walking the stations.
Dirt under feet?
It doesn't look like that. It doesn't. I mean, the actual stations, where Jesus allegedly was crucified and was buried. Yeah. Right there, Golgotha. There's a church there.
There's probably a few.
Yeah. Well, a whole bunch of denominations share the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and they take turns. They take turns manning the services there. So, like, it's not just. I mean, obviously, it's not just it's Christian, not just Catholic, even though Catholicism is the one true faith.
Yes.
I mean, since the dawn of Christ. So, but my point is they take turns. So, like, one mass may be the Catholic Church, one mass may be the Greek Orthodox. It's cool. It's neat.
.636 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got attorney Franz Borghardt in for a bonus legally served. Going to take you for another 10 minutes. And then Franz going to stick around because don't forget Moral Dilemma Monday coming your way this morning.
Who better for a moral dilemma than
stumbled
Franz?
Across a moral dilemma topic that I absolutely love. It's called hot take dating. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's get back into
do you want to
hot take counsel.
Do you want to discuss whether or not this is a political prosecution? Or is it political only because it's public corruption?
So I want to discuss the numbers that are along here. I really
kind of low.
Okay, so does that matter in the grand scheme of things? When you're talking about he funneled contracts back to himself, and it was what, $50,000. Normally, if you see political corruption, this is below six figures here.
I have a theory.
Okay.
I'm not a part of this case yet. I have not been hired by any of these defendants yet. This was a joint federal and state investigation. Had the FBI involved. I think the reason we are seeing it as a state prosecution is because there's more penalty and meat on the bone. That's not to say that it might not become a federal case at some point, but the penalties for that low of a taking. Now, look. You take $50,000, that's a crime.
No, I'm not trying to downplay the fact that that's a crime.
It's a low number when you start thinking about white-collar public corruption.
Right.
It's kind of...
And in no way, shape, or form is it acceptable.
Right.
But at the same time, though... All right,
it's like a peep show versus
You ever see the Ozark?
Yeah,
remember Ozark?
Yeah.
Remember
how to launder money.
Well, yes, but the first episode of Ozark when Dell, the cartel guy... is saying, his dad had an employee and he caught her stealing money and like what to do with her. And Jason Bateman or Marty Bird says, you got to get rid of her because this isn't the first time she stole. It's the first time she got caught.
Right.
Okay. That's my question, is that when you see a number like this and it's the initial headlines and the opening salvos of this whole storyline, is this the first time this has happened or is it the first time he's gotten caught?
So here's the question.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. He is presumed innocent. There are defenses to this. Let me say this. I have to imagine if there were something else out there that the state or the feds knew about, it would be a part of this case, right? This may be the easiest low-hanging fruit for them to get an arrest and a conviction. But the assumption for most normal jurors is going to be, well, I mean, there was probably a lot of brown bags getting with something other than apple pie getting brought to Mr. Dunn.
If you've got dummy corpse or businesses that he's owned previously or whatever, Isn't this a matter of now that this is out there, will we start to see a ramp up of further investigation?
I think you're going to see other investigation of other public officials. I think that is coming. I think that there will be other Baton Rouge officials indicted, arrested. And look, this is a time you gotta put the backdrop of your jury pool here. This is a time where all our government entities are saying, hey, we need more money to function.
Yeah.
And we just said, no, we're not going to give you more money. We're tired.
What Thrive EBR failed last year.
Yeah.
It's this kind of, this is exactly why. It has nothing to do with the intent or what was trying to be done last year with Thrive EBR, but this is where distrust builds.
Now, the other question I've been asked is, why Cleve Dunn? This seems like a low, in the great scheme of things, the targeting of Cleve Dunn seems, you've got other politicians out there doing stuff. He's kind of low on the totem pole, so to speak. Here's the thing. Cleve has not made his public persona, quote unquote, lovable.
Well, he had that battle with his neighbor about the
weird
drainage thing.
That has nothing to do. That'll never come into any of this.
Well, no, it's a squabble between neighbors.
Right. And by the way, the one case Franz Borghardt will not take, neighbor disputes.
Really?
I'm not taking neighbor disputes cases ever again.
Why?
Never. Dude, it's worse than a divorce.
Really?
Well, you got to live with those people. In a divorce, somebody leaves.
Okay.
Somebody goes somewhere else.
Okay.
And if neighbor dispute, guess what? Hey, Bob, what's going on? Every day.
Hatfield McCoy.
Yeah. So here's the thing. An aggressive indictment by the AG. Kitchen sink indictment. It's aggressive. She put everything in there. One, he's probably a quote unquote first felon offender. This is probably his first arrest. So my question is do you treat it differently because he's a public official and you have to make an example out of him if he is in fact convicted? Or do you treat him like every other first offender felon who is charged with essentially a felony theft, who would, by the way, get convicted, might be eligible for pretrial diversion, might be eligible for probation? The other question I know you've posed is, can he keep doing office?
So this is an important part of the whole discussion. We got 4 minutes left in this particular part of the discussion, which, by the way, Franz will be back on Wednesday for the full regular legally served ways. Yes. So anything we don't cover today, we will cover then. But this is an important part of the question to me. If you have a police officer on the beat who is involved in an altercation and an officer-involved shooting, something along the way, you find them put on administrative leave, suspended with pay, that sort of thing. Well, Cleve Dunn is both on the Metro Council and the CATS board. He is charged right now, but
does
he have to sit the bench?
So it's not like firing somebody. The board can vote him off the board, right? Which I believe he was elected. He was elected in 21 and then he was appointed to the board in 21 and then put back up again in 24. Has a council person, and I'm throwing this out to the audience, has a council person ever been impeached? Have they ever been removed from office? Is it a contingency that you not be a convicted felon to be a office holder? Yeah. That's an interesting question. He is not. Let me say this. Cleve Dunn has been convicted of nothing. Oh, totally. He is presumed innocent. He rests in the cloak of that presumption. Yeah. Seldomly do I get to say that phrase, cloak of the presumption of innocence. She has to prove this. Yeah. And not only does she have to prove that he did something, she also, this is the big piece. Is this a crime? Wait, Franz, you've been doing this for 20 years, Franz. What do you mean? Is this a crime? Was this an ethics rules violation or was this a quote unquote crime? Explain where the difference is between those, because I see what you're saying, but just to put it. So an ethics rules violation, there's a set of rules that we have in the state of Louisiana that says thou shalt not do these things if you're in elected office. The violations of those rules are generally a civil penalty. Yeah. Small fine. Yeah. Less than the amount of money he's accused of taking. Just as an aside, this has nothing to do with this conversation, but if you've been following the story about State Senator Patrick McMath and the furniture company and all that, that would be on the ethics side. Mm-hmm. This would be right. Oftentimes, ethics violations might be, hey, getting somebody to take you to lunch. and letting them pay when you shouldn't.
Okay.
Getting someone a job, you shouldn't get a job. Taking a public bribe, though, would be both a criminal and a
funneling contracts back to a company you own.
So
is that
malfeasance?
Yep.
So here's the kicker. This is where the rubber meets the road. Malfeasance. Malfeasance is you have a public job to do, and you either didn't do what you were supposed to do, and that breaks the law, or you did something. Does that make sense? You're doing something you're not supposed to do, or you're not doing something you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And either way, it breaks the law. You're either turning a blind eye to something, or you're taking some money, and there's a strong argument that this is a crime.
Yes.
There is some defenses here. There are some, to be sure. This is a weird white collar case.
Give me a quick defense.
A defense is this is not, he violated ethics rules. It's not a crime. Did he really take a kickback? I'm not saying these defenses are going to work.
You're sounding very much like George Costanza just got caught sleeping with the cleaning lady. Was that wrong? I got to tell you, this wasn't in the handbook. I'm not
on this case. I'm just saying there will be some defenses. Now, one of the defenses is, what do you want to know? Who do you want to know it about?
Okay, now you're peeling back a layer of the onion that I want to get to. Yeah. Because when you have the what do you want to know and who do you want to know about, other names are going to start to pop up.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have other names popping up, are you going to find a pattern of contract letting or anything else that might go wrong over there? And how far down that road before we get to a group of people that would be considered a corrupt organization involved in racketeering?
AG's office it's open season on public corruption, and ain't no limit on tags. That's what we're dealing with. And look, racketeering is a criminal enterprise, but they have to be working together. So this could have been a racketeering case.
Well,
I'm surprised you didn't use it. She used everything else.
Yeah. Well, but we have to see other indictments from other people.
Correct.
Before you have a corrupt organization.
Mama told me not to. I did it anyway. Misbehaving.
We're rolling up on 647 to talk 107.3. Plenty more to break down about Cleveland. We're going to move over to Moral Dilemma Monday. Franz will be back on the backside of the break for Moral Dilemma Monday. But as the Cleveland story unfolds, we will continue to cover it right here on Talk 107.3.
This Moral Dilemma Monday ends at 7?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
By the way,
it's a feast day today, and I've got to get back to Mercy after this.
What feast day is today?
Presentation of Jesus in the temple. Where he gets 2 turtle doves and a partridge and a pear tree.
The
Simeon
Thursday is the Feast of St. Blaise. And it's the Blessing of the Throats. It's deacons, though, because all the priests are on retreat.
That originated in a town in Croatia.
I did not know that.
Yeah. In fact, I was asked next time I go to Medjugorje and go to Dubrovnik, I was asked by a priest that we mutually know, can you get some candles for us and bring them back?
I really like the fact that
the U-shaped candles that
oh yeah. But the fact that it's in the middle of cold and flu season doesn't go missed on me. By the way,
I want to be a part of every Moral Dilemma Monday from now on.
I mean,
7 o'clock every Monday.
6:52 Monday. 6:52 every Monday.
Who better to weigh in on a moral dilemma than?
Well, so I mean, they're all the topics are all over the map.
Borghardt Law Firm wants to sponsor Shark Week. I'm talking about because I mean that feels appropriate, right?
Right.
I was going to say sometimes there is no moral dilemma.
Oh, I can help you with that.
Sometimes it's just a what would you do?
Moral dilemma: dating in your face. Nothing says romance like.
Monday, plenty more to break down about Cleveland. We're going to move over to Cleveland. We're going to move 7-3. Plenty more to break down about Cleveland. We're going to move over to Moral Dilemma Monday. Franz will be back on the backside of the break for Moral Dilemma Monday. As the Cleveland story unfolds, 7-3. As the Cleveland story unfolds, we will continue to cover it right here on Talk 107.3.
Franz does not need a dating show, Kim. That would be such a bad idea. Love beyond a reasonable doubt. When's Shark Week? Seriously, I really want to.
Like last week of it's usually second or third week of July.
Shark Week brought to you by Borghardt Law Firm.
I'm here for it.
I'm quite aware that you would be aware of.
We can do a full segment every day on sharks.
Can we put a logo on a shark, a Borghardt Law Firm logo on the shark? Oh yeah, with freaking lasers.
Your money now. We need your money now.
Oh, your money now. Hello. Your money now.
You gotta move. You gotta flip the flipper back there.
Moral dilemma Mondays with Franz. This will work out good. I'll take Florida all the way back to Mercy.
Yes, Florida going the opposite direction is going to be.
There's not going to be any traffic.
All the way up until you get to Mercy.
The Autobahn.
Now,
Head over at South Foster.
I would actually recommend,
going up to Lobdell and then doubling back.
Well, I wouldn't go all the way to Lobdell, but like you go one block past Mercy and then come back around.
Yeah, one of those little surface streets. Yeah.
You're going to look out for those big ass speed bumps in the road, but
I'm in a Tahoe.
That way you're completely looping around carpool instead of fighting it. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Tune in Thursday as Coach Kim Mulkey leads the LSU women's basketball team against the Texas Longhorns. I believe they're number 4 in the country. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Tip off at 8 p.m. We are proud to bring you every game all season long on your home for LSU women's basketball. Talk 107.3 FM. All right. Every Monday, Bree Lynn and I break down a it's normally like a what would you do type of topic, but we got Franz Borghardt in the house, so we're going full board for Moral Dilemma Monday. Let's go. '26 is coming in hot with a new dating trend per the USA Today. It's called Hot Take Dating, and according to Tinder's Year-End Swipe 2025 report, which was released last month, or I should say in December, it's already starting to take over the dating scene, and this is a doozy. You know the typical advice of avoiding touchy topics like politics or religion with someone you just met, especially on a first date. Well, Hot Take Dating throws out that conventional wisdom, encouraging daters to get as upfront and honest as possible about their viewpoints, especially their most controversial ones. The logic here is, get it out there, and you can get through it and build a relationship once all the laundry's on the hanger. So
once all the
laundry's
you remember when it was okay to look at someone and say, "Do you like pina coladas?" Getting caught in the rain.
Yeah.
Now it's, hey, where can I not put it? That's the kind of level of intimacy we're having in the first. This is like, that is the extreme, but that is what this is suggesting.
So, but like, this is also a lot of first date. You sit down. Let's talk about Minneapolis.
This is like window dress.
Let's talk about ice on the first date.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
like who'd you vote for president?
Right.
God.
My question is this a symptom of our generational attention span? Like, I don't have the bandwidth so what this says is I don't have the bandwidth to really slowly get to know you. So I want to know all the dirt and grittiness right now, which, by the way, never mind the fact you could have a phone conversation with someone and not do that in person. And
right.
Tell me about your values. You're like, do you go to church? Where do you go to church? You know, those are, I'm all about getting to know someone. Maybe not in your face on the first date.
I don't think it's so much of a patience thing. I think it's just alpha being in your face. Generation Alpha, how they want everything
now.
Yeah, I get that. But like, isn't some of this built into the profile though?
If the jury consulting hat, first of all, is the profile honest?
Okay.
Or it's just how I want you to perceive me. What this is interestingly going to confront is how many times, if you're listening out there and you're in the dating world, sending you my love and prayers. How many times have you dated someone or gone on dates with someone and been like, I've been dating this person and really they're false advertising.
Yeah.
Like they've been presenting all these things, but like
that's never happened to me.
That's never happened to you?
No, but here's the
God
thing.
bless your heart.
Here's the thing. Brian's been married. How long, Brian?
25 years this year.
Okay. And I'm going on 10 years this year. Back then, and it's not really back then, it just wasn't.
You didn't swipe left or right.
No, there was no Tinder back then.
Right. So part of the issue is going to be, how do you present yourself? Are you honest and filled with integrity in the presentation?
Okay.
Number two, same part. That's the profile question, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you're bisexual, you may want to put that on the profile and not lead with 5 dates in. Hey, just FYI, I'm into,
I mean,
I'm just saying.
I understand. Of all the angles under the sun, I should have known that was going to be the angle you were going to go after. There.
You know the backstory.
I do. Well, pun intended.
Oh God!
Sorry.
Dating is a vicious, pride-swallowing siege, the likes of which I hope that neither one of you have to re-experience anytime in the near future.
My whole thing, though, is like, if this is the way it's going to be, you're going to further divide the country. You're going to further divide into our different bubbles, our different echo chambers.
Can I play lawyer?
You can't have a James Carville, Mary Matlin anymore.
Can I play lawyer for a second and advocate the other side? The other side is maybe you can have a conversation with, hey, let's have a conversation like adults. And we may not agree with each other, but hey, look, this is who I voted for. These are the values I have. What about you? Oh, we don't agree on that. That may be a deal. Gonna be honest with you. You seem like a really nice person and you're very attractive and I've enjoyed spending time with you. But I think that this is a legitimate issue and deal breaker for me. So enjoy your cup of coffee and the rest of your life journey. Why can't we have those conversations as adults? And seldom does the dating process go that way. What happens is, I had an okay time. I'm going to ghost this person and never talk to him again.
All the time.
I respect being told, me internally, wouldn't it be nice if you just looked at someone and said, hey, you're a nice person. I'm just not feeling it. And it's nothing that you did. It's not me. It's not you. It's just, hey, good luck on your future endeavors.
Does that have to be revolved around political beliefs, though?
It can be around anything. People, what's the most, in my age bracket, if I date younger, the most common question is, hey, do you want to have any more kids?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to have any more kids? That's a problem for me. I'm not saying that, I can't fit a square peg in a round hole, which goes back to the first question.
Stop.
But my point is, this works if you can be an adult and have a good adult conversation and not make it like taking punches and giving punches. This falls apart with, you voted for who?
Right.
Do you want to kill babies?
Do you or do you not see that being the way it's going to be more often than not? In an ideal world, absolutely, being able to openly talk about, and converse about your beliefs versus somebody else's beliefs, not even versus your beliefs and or their beliefs, that is the ideal world. But I see this degenerating quickly.
I think we are in a society where we don't want to talk to each other on the phone.
Yeah.
and we're going to do this in person.
And I would imagine building out a relationship. I mean, you want to know going in if the juice is going to be worth the squeeze.
Right. If the juice is worth the squeeze, then squeeze it. But my point is this. But here's the thing. If you're Wiccan, you may want to tell me that.
You're Wiccan.
God.
If you're bisexual
Franz,
Wiccan,
we got to get you out of here. That was Moral Dilemma Monday. ABC News is up. Hour 2 is next. By the way, I gave you till the last 20 seconds of the entire hour to get the word juice in there.
I totally forgot.
Uh-huh.
I am pledging to you guys. I would be open to coming back for any Moral Monday you want me to come back to, because I feel like as the lawyer in the room. But here's the thing. Look, real fast. I will say this. There are some good men and women out there who are really trying to are dating with intention, and they're trying to find someone, and they would be open to this because it's different, right? There are people out there that are on dating apps, and here's the other thing. The dating apps, a lot of people are just looking for one thing, and it ain't a relationship.
So if they're going to lie on their profile, they're going to lie in person too. Whatever. I mean,
the juice is worth the squeeze.
It's a lot of juice.
Bye, guys.
Later, brother.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Right here.
I do know. Who knows? Franz wild. He's wild.
Clearly, his feedback on the segment.
Text me. Just text me.
I will. Telling y'all, segment's taking off like wildfire. Okay, who was that?
Oh boy, the same one that calls me.
Oh, the old curmudgeon.
Yeah, the 5-year-old picked up in Minnesota.
What did he have to say?
He's like, I always thought it was Brian. Franz, I was pegging Brian, but Brian's pegging Franz, and he was just he's like, that's so inappropriate, and he's like, and then he hung up.
Active measles infections. Everyone who came into contact with those who was being quarantined to prevent a further spread of the illness. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
You're listening to ABC News.
He's something else. The art caller. What's his name?
I don't know.
I know that hiring is challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on Zipper.
Yeah, no, Kim. No, Tinder wasn't around when I was a thing. Back when I was dating, okay, Cupid, Plenty of Fish, maybe. But even that wasn't, I don't know. It was still like eHarmony and Match. Like you had to pay for
AOL
it.
Instant Messenger was barely a thing when I was dating.
Really?
Like, I was still getting AOL discs in the mail.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Amber says, I'm too stuck in my ways to break in someone new.
Totally right.
Alan, I literally had a girl call me a Nazi last year from a dating site just because I'm conservative.
There you go.
Damn, Alan.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places to take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Looking for a real estate closing partner in Baton Rouge that offers mobile closing services? Mid-City Title, midcitytitle.com.
Talk 107.3 Weather.
After a frosty start, sunny skies should boost our temperatures into the low 60s this afternoon. Winds will be light. Clouds will increase ahead of the next system with lows in the mid-40s overnight. Tuesday, clouds will return with a few spotty showers developing during the afternoon. Highs near 68. Rain a bit more likely Tuesday night with lows around 51. Wednesday, sunshine returns, but it will be cooler with highs in the upper 50s. Temps will dip into the low 30s Wednesday night before a warming trend later this week. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker with your storm station forecast, WBRZ Channel 2.
.705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the second hour, we've dipped down to 26 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Busy hour coming your way. We've got Dr. Andrew Smith from Our Lady of the Lake going to be talking about healthy heart habits in our next segment. We've got Will Green from LABI. I got to see Will for a hot minute up in Washington Mardi Gras. Only a hot minute though. So I want to recap his experience, because if I only saw him for like 1 second, then everywhere he was somewhere I wasn't. So he's going to have a great story to tell there. We're also going to preview next week's annual meeting from Lobby. Before we get to any of that, though, top stories and trending. Get it. A driver crashed into a marked police unit along Interstate 10 westbound near the Gonzales-Burnside exit last night. According to DOTD, the crash happened shortly before 8:30 p.m. It blocked all of the westbound lanes. State police said the officer was not in their vehicle when the crash happened, but it did block the westbound lanes well into the night. A man who allegedly led BRPD on a chase while driving a stolen car faster than 140 miles per hour was arrested in Krotz Springs after the vehicle ran out of gas. BRPD said an officer tried to pull over 46-year-old Takoa Woodson on Lobdell for driving a car that had been previously reported stolen. He ran out of gas on the Moore, Kansas spillway. So close to getting some pepper jack, boudin, balls, and billies. District 6 Councilman Cleve Dunn was officially booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on Saturday following his indictment for bribery and money laundering, this according to prison records. East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office arrested a man for promoting prostitution at a massage spa on Friday. According to records, an investigation was launched back on December 23rd after 77 illicit ads were located online for Yee Yee Massage Spa on North Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Following a November arrest at that location, employees in the area allegedly told deputies that customers now enter through the back door, so the business doesn't appear to be open. It, however, was, and well, now further arrests have been made. East Feliciana Parish Sheriff Jeffrey Travis released a statement regarding the Mardi Gras parade shooting in Clinton on Saturday that left 5 people injured, including a 6-year-old. According to the sheriff, 3 suspects were taken into custody of the scene. 2 of them, a 19-year-old Noah Baskin of Ethel, along with a 15-year-old, were charged with obstruction of justice, attempted second-degree murder, and reckless discharge of a firearm at a parade. The third, Jason Scott, 26 years old of Baker, was charged with illegal carrying of a weapon and 2 counts of resisting an officer. Investigators do not believe Scott was involved in the shootings. What's trending, Bree Lynn?
Well, President Trump says he instructed Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem that federal agents should not engage in protests in, quote, Democratic cities unless they ask for help.
So one would have thought that would have been the thing anyway. They're not there to bust up protests. They're there to arrest the worst of the worst.
Right. The ones who are not peacefully protesting.
Well, so the question then is going to become, this is going to be like a chicken and egg thing. Does ICE follow the protest, or do the protests follow ICE? See, like if the 2 people who have been killed so far, the protests have been following ICE.
Right.
They have been, especially the most recent guy. Right. The most recent guy tried to intervene.
Right.
I got it. And that right there, can you separate these 2 things? Or, I mean, it's
messy.
I know.
All right, ESPN's College Game Day is headed to Baton Rouge on February 14th, Valentine's Day, for a rival game between number 3 South Carolina Gamecocks and the number 6 LSU Tigers.
LSU's got to get past Texas first. I love the hype and the rivalry between LSU and South Carolina. LSU and South Carolina in women's basketball is like LSU and Alabama in football. But eyes on the prize. You got to beat number 4 before you get to number 3. Thursday night, right here on Talk 107.3 FM, will be LSU at Texas. Going to be a big one.
Well, and we took down Alabama.
I know, and Alabama's good. Alabama's good. But when you start talking like the South Carolina, LSU, Texases of the world, that's
very true.
Level up.
All right, so well, really, it's not Donna, but he has the name, Brian. It's an alligator story.
It's
a shark alligator.
Shark alligator rule. It's a rule.
Yeah.
It's not up to us. There's a rule.
Ernst.
A
12-foot long, 1,009-pound great white shark being tracked by O-Search has been spotted twice in the Gulf, January 11th off the Alabama coast, then again Friday off the coast of Mississippi.
So actually, yeah, they said Friday off the coast of Mississippi, but it was also reported a couple days before that. So this thing's lurking around. What island was it off? What's the island off the coast of Mississippi?
Wait, Ship Island.
Nah, there's another one. Is there like a Horn Island?
Yeah, there is a Horn Island.
All right, let me pull this back up again. Because that's where it was seen was, which by the way, who's out there in January? It's freezing right now.
Like we saw
this, right? It's like, hey, let's go down to the beach. Ernst traveled toward Mississippi. So it was first spotted by Dauphin Island on January 11th. And then where did it go? I want to say Horn Island was the other island. So anyway, researchers named Ernst in honor of a ferry called William G. Ernst, which has connected rural communities on 2 islands in Nova Scotia to the mainland for decades. So he was named way up north before coming down. Yeah.
And he does not have an E in his name. He's Ernst.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I see you have one more trending story that needs to be thrown in here. Like not trending yet, but will be in about an hour.
I'm so excited.
Aren't we all?
All right.
Been sitting on this one. Go for it.
All right.
Why is it always got to be country acts that come to Baton Rouge?
Well, look, I love my country. I'm on the country station, so I got to represent. All right. So we've been here, and I'm allowed to say this.
Yes, finally.
We've been hearing about this big ass stadium tour. Post Malone went overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Took a little break, took a hiatus, going back out on the big ass stadium tour again. Post Malone, Jelly Roll, Carter Faith coming to Tiger Stadium Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 for the big ass stadium tour.
So this was part 2 of the 2 Tiger Stadium concerts that were announced previously. We learned about the other one a while ago. This is the big,
this is the big one.
This is bigger. I'm making that argument because we're branching out outside of country music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's every time something rolls into Baton Rouge, it's got to be country or it just doesn't fly. This is, let's go. Let's hit those pop charts.
Jelly Roll has made a name for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Post Malone has made a name for himself. Crossover artist. He was in top 40, getting big in top 40 when I was in top 40. But I'm going to say this. Jelly Roll was allowed to go overseas because of remember, he was a felon and he had to get his charges dismissed, and then he was able to go overseas. So this was a big deal for Jelly to go to the UK with Post Malone.
Okay.
So it's just, I've been following this story about Jelly Roll. Regardless, this is going to be a smasher show.
Oh, can't wait. Let's get this bad boy sold out because you know what? Success begets success. And the more we can show success, the more shows we're going to get like this. So awesome stuff. 7:13 at Talk 107.3 FM. We are running behind Medical Mondays next. So you'll come in directly with it. You got it? Okay. All right, let me get caught up on the chat here. Oh, sweet. That was a short break. How long is Medical Monday from start to finish?
13 minutes, 28 seconds. Damn, we're still going to be short.
Good. I give it back to me first, and then.
Okay.
$7:15 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along, getting you to Medical Monday in exactly 60 seconds. Do need to remind you about the folks over at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. So my attempt last week was to fly BTR to go to Washington Mardi Gras. The winter weather storms had other plans. However, the flight home, oh my word, when we landed at Baton Rouge Metro Airport on Saturday night, could not have been happier. You pull right in. It's just the level of convenience that comes with flying BTR. It shows on both ends of the trip. On the way out, you don't have to deal with the massive humanity that is TSA down at the New Orleans airport. You don't have to deal with the exorbitant parking rates they have down at the New Orleans airport. And on the way home, how easy is it? The wife picked me up right there. And by the way, you just pick up right there. You go from the plane to baggage pickup or to the baggage claim. It's like a 3-minute walk. And your baggage is right there. Boom, boom, ready to go. You're not waiting around forever to pick up your bag and get out the door. And then you grab your bag and boom, you're right out the door, right there to your car, and then right there home. You don't have an hour-long drive on the back end of it. The convenience shows on both ends of the trip. If you're making travel plans, please, please, please check out. And by the way, the direct flight to D.C. back up and running after a few snafus with the weather last week. So it's a full go. If you're making flight plans, travel plans, check out flybtr.com. All right, before I was wheels up last week, I got the chance to catch up with our good friends over at Our Lady of the Lake for Medical Monday.
It's time for your weekly checkup. This is Medical Monday, presented by Our Lady of the Lake Health.
If I time this out, yes, it is time for Medical Monday, and as the calendar rolls over to February, that is Heart Month. A time to focus on these small, everyday habits that can make a big difference in heart health. From what we eat and how active we are to how well we sleep and manage key health numbers, simple changes can add up to lasting benefits. Today on Medical Monday, we're talking with Dr. Andrew Smith at FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake physician group from the Louisiana Cardiology Associates, about heart healthy habits, small changes that make a big difference, using life's Essential 8 from the American Heart Association as a practical guide to help people take proactive steps towards better heart health. Doc, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well as well. So the Essential 8, we're gonna need the Cliff Notes on this one. When it comes to heart health, can you explain what the Essential 8 are and how they give patients a practical, whole picture approach to improving their heart and overall health?
Sure. Maybe I'll just list them and then we can go through individuals if you'd like to.
Yep.
And a lot of these are things we already know. There's one new one, but most of these folks know. But first one is just eating better. Pretty simple concept, but often hard to do. Next one is increasing activity. Most of us, we live relatively sedentary lives here, and trying to get any sort of extra activity in is important. The next one's a big obvious one, but sadly still a problem, is tobacco use. Number 4 is sleep. That's our new one on this list, and I think it gets more and more sort of cited nowadays as an important part of overall health. Number 5 is weight. Number 6 is cholesterol or lipids. And then number 7 is knowing and controlling your blood pressure. And then number 8 is sugar, or knowing if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic.
All right, so that's the simple list right there. Let's get into a little bit about each one and maybe not each one, because some of them are self-explanatory, but why they're important to overall heart health. So from a physician's perspective, why is it important to look at heart health as a combination of these daily habits and key health numbers rather than focusing on any individual factor?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that, the good thing about being cognizant of taking care of your heart is you're really taking care of your whole body. That's one reason I really like the heart as a subspecialty is if you're treating your body right, you're treating your heart right, you're treating your brain right, your kidneys, all of those things. So, and you can't just concentrate on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at this list of 8, if you have all of these if you score on all of these factors, the biggest one to take out and the one that patients can modify themselves the best is tobacco. Granted, very hard, but that's the one really, if you're going to focus on any of these 8, that would be the one to first take out. And there are ways to help. There are tobacco cessation clinics here at the lake. And then you can get nicotine patches and other means to help yourself decrease and eliminate your tobacco use. I think it's also interesting sleep. I mean, really, we had not focused on that in years past, but really understanding what role good and adequate sleep plays in heart health, in diabetic health, in metabolic health. If you don't get sleep, if you have a really bad night of sleep, and we take call and we might get an hour of sleep sometimes, you can feel it the next morning. Your ability to not eat that extra, food that you're not supposed to eat, your reaction to foods is worse. You become pre-diabetic in those sleep-deprived states. So, those two are, I think, interesting and at the forefront of kind of things to focus on. And then as you move down the list, unfortunately for us in Louisiana and then our country in general, we call it the standard American diet, the SAD diet. We eat way too much processed food. We eat too much fat in general, too much salt. Most of us are having to make long commutes to get our kids to school, to get ourselves to work. And often, picking up that fast food item is an easy way to get a breakfast or get a dinner on the way home. And all of those items, almost, anytime you're eating out quickly, it's going to be too much fat, too much salt, and too many calories in a small piece of food.
We're talking with Dr. Andrew Smith about heart healthy habits and the essential 8. Doc, I want to stick with that eating better part of this because, we all have busy lives, and oftentimes convenience and time trumps a better decision. What's the best way to work through that balance?
I tell you what, I don't think it's easy. I think our lifestyles make it really hard. I have single moms, and we talk about how are they going to do this, and they're rushing their kids off to get them to school or to maybe their mom's house at 6 a.m, then to work, and then soccer and dance after school. How do they do that? It's really hard. And I think, things to focus on are, maybe you do have to eat out 1 or 2 days a week, but maybe you can make meals on the weekend that you can use over the first few days of the week. So I try not to say, look, you've got to meet me 100% of where I think you ideally are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make little habits that you can decrease maybe 30%. Like, that's a win to me.
Right.
So don't try to go full bore. You're going to be great for 2 weeks, and then you're just exhausted because you can't do it.
Right.
Make little incremental changes. And, maybe it's the bowl of ice cream at 9 p.m. at night before you go to bed. That's not a great thing to do. Maybe remove that, but, treat yourself in other ways. So I think little changes can add up over time, and they're much more sustainable.
And don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. That probably applies to staying active as well.
I look at it exactly the same way. I have plenty of patients who, their routine is really no activity.
Right.
I want that person to, maybe they have 10 minutes before they rush their kids off to school. Can they go walk up and down 2 blocks in their neighborhood? I'd rather you do that 10 minutes rather than nothing. And again, that's a win. And then that's a win you can build upon.
42 comments in the chat.
Like you said, you don't want to, you don't want to do nothing just because you want to be great. Like, meet yourself where you are and with what you can do. You can do 10 minutes of walking in the morning, and then maybe you can get an inexpensive pair of dumbbells from the local Target, and you do something while you're watching TV that
a lot
night.
of old sizes.
Any of those little incremental changes over time make a big difference.
Amazingly enough, as we roll over to February, this is about the time that all the New Year's resolution people start rolling out of the gym too. So.
Oh yeah, they're already gone. Yeah, no, it's. I forget what it is. January 19th. Everybody's
that sounds about right.
Gone.
That does sound about right. All right, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar. These are often called these silent health issues. But these are the ones that we don't really keep track of on our own. Let's talk about the importance of regular monitoring here.
Yeah, the 100%. These are the things that build up over years and years and years. If your cholesterol is not managed well for 6 months, not a big deal. 20 years, you're going to have plaque build up in your arteries, in your coronary arteries, and you won't know that's a serious issue until it gets so significant that it's over 70% blocked, or you have an acute issue when you come in for a heart attack. Same thing with diabetes, same thing with blood pressure. They can be mildly elevated. You'll never have a symptom. You can go years and decades, and it's in that 50th year, 60th year when you actually start to have the manifestation of problems. But it's building up over all of those years. So it really is important to get yearly blood work.
They shut him down.
To your
So he
physician
just
about,
put the closed
hey, look,
sign up and opened the back door.
because docs are busy, and sometimes you'll have a hemoglobin A1C, which is an average blood sugar over 90 days. It's a little bit in the pre-diabetic realm. And a lot of times we hardly notice it, maybe not even mention it. But that's important because that's something you can work on without medications, that you can work on through exercise, through diet, through better sleep, and really try to prevent those issues that are going to come to bear in your 50s, 60s, 70s.
Right.
So,
he's at it
to your
again.
point, none of these are symptomatic. These can all be abnormal for years and decades, and the symptoms come in your 50s, 60s, and 70s.
We're talking with Heart Health with Dr. Andrew Smith. We got to talk about sleep. This is probably, I'm saving the most time in this entire segment just for sleep, because I know this is one that I'm personally guilty of running afoul of. There are so many different factors, so many different reasons we don't get good sleep at night. So let's start with this. How much sleep should we be aiming for?
Ideally, 7 to 8 hours is ideal. And people are different. Some people require even more than that, 8 to 9 hours for ideal sleep. There's a very small percentage of the population, I think we all think that maybe we live in this realm, that require less, that are in the 4 hours. Those are rare, in the 1% range of humans. So 7 to 8 is for the vast majority of us is kind of where you want to aim.
Now, there are so many different factors that keep us from doing this. I mean, whether you talk about watching TV or just scrolling through TikTok at night, screen time is probably a pretty big culprit. So is not being able to compartmentalize and, turn off the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Sleep really starts, if you want to practice really good sleep hygiene, it starts 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. And that involves trying to get the screens off, in my house, our lights are dimmed around 8 p.m. And it can be hard to find your way around sometimes. But we kind of practice that. I think meditation or prayer or some way to quiet your brain in the last hour or two prior to sleep is really good. Reading instead of watching TV, and then actually eating meals earlier and lighter meals at night, which is not our traditional American way. But if you can eat 3+ hours before you go to bed, which is hard after a soccer game and you're rolling into the house at 9 p.m.
Yep.
And granted, again, forgive yourself for those nights. Don't get frustrated by those. But when you can practice ideal sleep hygiene, really try to practice it. Alcohol is another thing. You may go to sleep, but if you look at your sleep patterns, your REM level, your deep sleep patterns are really way off with alcohol consumption. So summary, try to start your sleep, patterns early, dim the lights, watch the screens, and try to eat early and eat light.
Well, and the crux of it is, if the sleep is off, everything else the next day is off. You're taking in probably way too much caffeine, which is going to throw your sleep off the next night. You're eating junk as a means of, quote unquote fuel, but once the sleep runs afoul, everything does.
100%. And it's things, like you said, they're sort of silent. Your blood sugar's up a little bit. Your cortisol levels are up a bit. Your insulin levels are off. So it's all of these underneath the hood things that you really may not feel necessarily that are playing roles that are impacted directly by sleep alone. The World Health Organization categorized night work as actually a major health concern and an increased risk for cancer and increased risk for diabetes and coronary artery disease. And a lot of us have to work at night. I have to work at night. But you just really want to make sure that you recover as best you can over those next several days after those episodes.
Last thing before we get you out of here, Dr. Smith, and that is for listeners who want to be proactive about their heart health, when should they schedule an appointment with a doctor, and how can they reach out to FMOL?
Well, early is good, and that may not be specifically a heart doctor, but preventative medicine starts early. And you want to make sure that you know what your cholesterol numbers are, you know what your blood sugar is, you know what your blood pressure is, and really address the things that are out of line. And you really have to look at your parents and grandparents for, okay, am I at risk in my 50s, 40s for heart disease? Because you can read it from the uncles, from your mom and dad, and from your parents before you. If somebody had a heart issue in their 40s, you should see a heart doctor in your 30s probably. We're here mainly at the Lake campus. We have some other offices around town and across the river, but best way to reach us is 225-767-3900. And we're Louisiana Cardiology, part of the FMOL physician group here in Baton Rouge.
He is Dr. Andrew Smith. We've been talking heart health on this installment of Medical Monday, which is, of course, presented by Our Lady of the Lake. Doc, thank you so much for hopping on board.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Take care.
Oh, boy, did I hot mic myself twice at Washington Mardi Gras. Once I went ahead and deleted the whole Facebook and the whole YouTube. The other one.
That's what happened to it. Okay.
So what happened was that camera that I got sent with has a microphone built into it. And I didn't know that. And I thought we were operating off through the M audio and the JK mixer, but the audio was coming through the camera. So everything I said during a break was hot when I thought I was turned down because I was having conversation with people that did not need to be on the air. Day 2 morning?
Yeah, morning.
Not in the first hour. No. In the first hour, like when Jen Rocca was on. So I went ahead and deleted the whole thing. And then in the evening, it did it again. So something about the software, it goes back to default settings every single time. I didn't know this. I have to manually turn it over, which again, I don't have a tech with me or an engineer with me. So, but it goes back to default settings every single time in the StreamYard. So I have to go back and reset to say, no, run through this microphone. No, run through this camera.
I forget. It could have been Michelle, but I could have been wrong. She was saying that might not be a bad thing for me to go with you to Mardi Gras eventually. Like, to where we have tech and we can make it a par with what ESPN's doing. I think it was Michelle. And I was like, well, that would be 2 flights.
2 flights, 2 hotels, or 2 Airbnbs, whatever.
We don't need to do all that.
It would increase costs significantly for guarantee. Like,
I don't really see a need to bring me up there. You know, if you have it. Your setup look great.
Yeah.
Talk 1073. Hey, Will, we'll come to you in about 2 minutes, okay? Now, if we always have these shows off-site, like every couple of weeks.
Oh, so the next few weeks, we're going to have 2 more. Next Wednesday, we're going to be out at Lobby's annual meeting.
Okay.
And then the week or a couple weeks after that, March 1st, I believe it is, the Pelican Institute does their Solution Summit.
Okay.
So I go to both of those.
But those are here. Like, you could drive to those, huh?
Yeah. I drive. I set up the night before, hopefully set up the night before, and then go back in the following morning and just rock it out. I think I'm going to be able to set up the night before. I got to get with Johnston to see. Some years I have, some years I haven't. What?
Lucky I only get 4 to 5 hours of sleep.
Sounds about right. That's me. Oh, Amber was saying if her husband passed, she couldn't date anymore. This would be too weird. I didn't even think about it at the time, but conversely, Amber, your husband can't date anymore if you go because he's a deacon now. So, like, that's yeah, huh?
The second day was hard. Background noise was terrible. We know, Debbie.
Oh yeah, in the morning. That was the ambient, like that was the microphone of the camera. Yeah, that was and it was all of Cassidy's people come. Like, by the way, do not rule Bill Cassidy out of this. I know within Republican circles there's a lot of vitriol right now, but that man's working. Like, and I'm gonna get into this at 7:55, but yeah, but there's a lot of people wanting to see him. And a lot of meetings going on Friday morning. .736 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We are back home in the 180 Pros studio once again, back in the friendly confines after our annual journey to Washington D.C. Joining us right now, we've got Will Green, President and CEO of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, who's also fresh off of his trip to D.C. How are you, Will?
Brian, good morning, man. I am shockingly full of energy. I've still got my voice, and you sound the same, man. You sound great.
I am like so rejuvenated right now. Was it a different vibe this year? Like my first takeaway was this was the most economically driven Washington Mardi Gras that I've ever seen. Like I saw very, very little political scuttlebutt and nothing but a bunch of huge Woodside Energy, LSU cybersecurity. Like those two were the big ones, but this was like, there was a lot more positivity there this year.
Well, and I thought about that as well, Brian, and I noticed that it was hard not to, especially with the LED pavilion there and just so many of the conversations surrounding the investment already announced and also the investment coming to Louisiana. And, I give a lot of credit to King Graystream. He is very passionate about the growth around Louisiana and bringing economic investment to Louisiana. And so I think he really did want to balance the really great time and the events of Washington Mardi Gras with the economic development aspect and really capture that and not really let that go to waste. And so I think a lot of credit goes to him and then the team at LED that he works with as well. He sits on that board there at LED. And so I think he saw that opportunity to really put Louisiana on a national stage for the week and bring economic developers and CEOs and folks that fill boardrooms across the country all together in one place for a week, which is really the coolest thing about the whole week, right? Is you've got CEOs, you've got politicians, you've got economic developers and stakeholders and coalitions and associations from our state joining together with decision makers from all over the country in one place, having conversations, all with one goal in mind, which is to build Louisiana up.
No, absolutely. And yes, they're seeing that Louisiana Now Pavilion, basically kind of a revamped version of what they ran out at the Super Bowl. But seeing that does put things front and center. You know what I did notice with that, Will, was when you walk in there, the first names, like the sponsors of that pavilion, Meta, Amazon, Like you're seeing big names getting behind Louisiana business.
Yeah, which, I mean, hey, 10 years ago, you wouldn't have seen that, right?
No.
5 years ago, you wouldn't have seen that. And now, you know, you would have had to go to another state to see those kind of names sponsoring something like that. You would have recognized those names around Louisiana. And now we've got, you know, the national companies that are making billions of dollars of investment and sponsoring the kind of things, saying we're proud to join and be a part of this event and be a part of the exciting things happening around Louisiana. And so it is exciting.
What were a few of your other takeaways? What were a few of your highlights along the way?
You know, so look, with all that investment comes a need for skilled labor and workforce, and so that was a lot of my conversations, right? I mean, we just launched our program of work, and so that was the most common question I got when I would either have a scheduled meeting, or, as you know, Brian, a lot of the meetings up there are unscheduled meetings, like their hallway, like at the coffee station meeting, and those little coffee runs outside of an event or a conference or a panel turn into a 30-minute meeting at the while you're filling up your coffee. But
yep.
it was hard for me to go anywhere without having a legislator or a coalition member of ours or just a member of mine ask, all right, you know, what are the priorities this session, and, you know, what are y'all looking at? And obviously insurance is still at the top of everybody's mind, right? I mean, it's still one of the highest cost numbers on a business's balance sheet. And then after that, I mean, it went right to workforce and how do we fill the jobs that are coming and all this investment coming. We've got to make sure we have the skilled labor necessary to fill that. And so, you know, that was a lot of the conversation. And then obviously just the excitement around energy and the billions of dollars in investment around energy and carbon capture and the things like that are coming to the state. And so what excited me was our program of work, which again, our top priorities were insurance, workforce, and energy. They do align with the conversations both locally and nationally, and the needs of business both locally and nationally. And so it seems like we're aligning very well with the needs of our members, and it sounds like when I talk to legislators, their constituents, that's what they're talking about. That's what they need. And so one of the things I'm so excited about, Brian, is now we're just about a week and a half away from, you know, a little over a week from our annual meeting,
yep.
where we can take that momentum, right? And so much excited about growth of Louisiana. And that's why we transitioned our theme into, like, let's continue to go for that growth. And so hopefully that same energy and those same conversations will carry over to our annual meeting in just over a week.
We are going to pivot over to y'all's annual meeting in just a second, but I did want to kind of reiterate on that workforce issue. We had a big announcement from the governor. And then on top of that, Will, of the conversations I had, we really have a no stone left unturned approach to building out this workforce. I heard a different plan from LTCC, a different plan from, you know, our four-year universities, a different plan I spoke with both Charlton McGinley and Andrew Ward. So our veterans are going to be taken care of, like building out our workforce, criminal justice. Building out our workforce is everything from 2-year college to 4-year college to certification to veteran to someone who's just been put back into the workforce who came out of prison. Like everywhere you turn, we're finding a way to employ somebody.
Yeah, look, and that's exactly right. The boot is just doing a phenomenal job. They just put out a press release where they placed a significant amount of veterans that normally would have left this state. I mean, that is a talented, skilled workforce that would have normally left this state, and they've been able to keep that talent in this state. And then, you know, another leg of that stool that you didn't mention is early childhood, right? I mean, we've got a significant number of able-bodied citizens that aren't working because they can't find childcare, they can't afford childcare. And one of the things that just went into effect was that child care tax credit that doubled. And so businesses now can go in and they can either invest in an early child care center, or they can give directly to an employee, and that to help offset the cost of child care. And those credits for employers just doubled recently. And so, look, it is all hands on deck. It's the 4-year colleges, but putting out degrees that matter. It's the community technical colleges that play a massive role. It's veterans. it's criminal justice reform, right? It's the nonviolent offenders coming out of prison with a skill, ready to work. And then it's early childhood. I mean, it's all hands on deck to try to fill what our strategic plan is telling us is going to be about 150,000 jobs over the next few years.
We're talking with Will Green, President and CEO of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. So let's go ahead and pivot over, because now's the time to start talking about, like, you know, history rewards the aggressor, Will. And Lobby, with your annual meeting this year, the theme is going for growth. So definitely you want to see Louisiana be the aggressor.
Yeah, and look, one of the biggest questions we get around growth and transformation is around AI, right? And it is, I know everybody says it, but it needs to be said as much as possible. Louisiana businesses that understand and adapt to the tools that we have, right, are going to be competitive in cost, speed, and innovation. And so when we go around the room and I talk to my board members and I ask them, all right, what questions do you have that you just do not have the answers to? And it's AI and technology. And it's because it almost moves fast at the speed faster than we can answer the question. And so what we wanted to do this year was bring in Jonathan Burrill. He's the #1 AI futurist consultant in the country right now, to come in and talk about how can you be a leader in AI. And Jonathan, I love it. He's got this, when we talked beforehand, he said, look, we're surrounded by some of the greatest opportunities for business in a generation. Yeah. And he's going to tell you why that should excite you and not give you anxiety like it does for some. Because I can tell you the anxiety around the change that is happening right now, I think it's because a lot of it's misunderstood. I think a lot of people think, is this gonna put me out of business? Are my competitors going to do it better than me? And he's going to tell you, don't worry. Here's what a leader looks like in a new age of radical change. And he's going to tell you that a mid-level executive right now is going to have to act like a high-level executive tomorrow. I mean, it is changing that quickly, but he's going to give you the tools you need to do it. He's going to tell you, how it's going to happen, why it's happening. And the biggest thing I asked him to do was, look, I don't want to walk out of that room feeling like we're behind the curve. I want my members and I want the people in that audience to walk out of the room going, all right, now I feel like I'm ahead of the curve finally on this AI and on this data dynamic that's changing every day.
Talk with Will Green, President and CEO of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. It is fascinating stuff. I've read up a little bit on Jonathan Burrill, and he seems to be very layperson oriented. Let's understandable, relatable.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. The other thing is, look, I've heard some of the AI and some of the technology experts, and I'm not okay. I'm not my 12-year-old probably knows more about the iPhone than I do, and he is relatable. He's understandable. He's interesting. He's funny. And so you're going to walk out of that room not thinking like, man, I feel like I just, heard one of my old professors that I had to, go and research a little more on. He's very relatable. And again, he's going to be interesting. He's not going to be one of these guys that you're going to have to go do, kind of take notes and say, I don't really understand half of what he said. He really is a great speaker.
And he is the keynote speaker. We got 90 seconds left. Will, tell me about the panel discussion too.
Yeah, so that morning, obviously as advocacy changes and we are the top advocacy group in the state, we did not want to leave that out. So we've got Jonathan Martin that morning, the policy bureau chief and senior political consultant for Politico. So he'll be there at 9:30 talking about making sense of today's politics. Our chairman next year, Scott Dallard, is going to be, after he gives a brief discussion, is going to be really picking his brain a little bit. We'll have some time for audience questions. And then that'll follow 11 o'clock, our annual meeting. And then noon is our keynote. And so that's next Wednesday, February 11th. And I'll remind everybody the night before, we do have our reception at Lobby. And so you can go on lobby.org, and we still have some room at the reception, but I do believe our annual meeting is sold out.
Okay. Good to hear. Good to know. He is Will Green, President and CEO of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Of course, I'll be broadcasting live from there all Wednesday morning, or 6 to 9 in the normal mornings with Brian Haldane Slot Wednesday morning long. Our coverage will be dedicated. The show will be dedicated to covering what y'all are covering. So looking forward to it as always, Will. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Absolutely. We are at 7:49 at Talk 107.3 FM. We do have a second before we meet up with Your Money Now. Let me remind you, Talk 107.3 and Citizens Bank and Trust want to cover your car payments. Enter to win $5,000 plus a bonus shot at 6 months of Benny's Car Wash. Get extra entries when you subscribe to our Talk 107.3 Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Enter now at talk1073.com. All right, we're rolling up on 7:50. I'll give you a little bit of my Washington Mardi Gras recap right after we check Your Money Now. Married? Oh. Dedicated. The show will be dedicated. Look forward to it as always, Will. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you.
All right.
For nearly 50 years, Gulf Coast Office Products has been Louisiana's trusted leader in office technology, helping businesses in every industry streamline efficiency. As an official partner of the New Orleans Saints and Pelicans, we're committed to delivering top-tier service with flexible leasing options and customized invoicing. With over 100 dedicated employees, we have the expertise to keep your business running smoothly. Call for a free analysis at 225-756-2644. Gulf Coast Office Products, a workforce efficiency lifeline.
Oh, shit. 7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Washington Mardi Gras in the rear view this year. Going to give you a couple of quick takeaways. We talked about a number of things with Will Green right there that actually covered it that I wanted to reiterate. Before I do, though, this is an election year. And if you are running for any race up or down the ticket anywhere across the election year, you need printed materials. You need yard signs. You need those big old signs. You need door hangers. You need brochures. You need mailers. You need 5-star printing and signs. 271-4096 is the phone number. Of course, that's 225. Danny and his team do fantastic work when it comes to it all. This is their wheelhouse. This is what they do absolutely best. So if you're thinking about running for anything, 271-4096, get yourself in the game. Make sure that your campaign is front and center and grabbing eyeballs along the way. 271-4096. Of course, that's 225-271-4096 for 5-star printing and signs. Speaking of politics was really kind of on the back burner. Well, I don't want to say on the back burner. It was, when it comes down to the amount of talk going on in the hallways, you can tell that the races that are out there right now are pretty buttoned up, specifically the big Senate race. And when I say buttoned up, I don't mean like sewn up. Like, I don't mean like we know who's going to win and this is a no-brainer. No, like the candidates running, especially the top two, which would be Bill Cassidy and Julia Letlow, those two candidates right now, they're in go mode, y'all. I did my show from outside Senator Cassidy's hospitality suite on Friday morning. And the other 3 shows I did from the LSU Champions Lounge hospitality suite, which is right next door to Julia Letlow's suite on Thursday morning and afternoon, and then Thursday evening. And I can tell you that in getting a couple of minutes with both candidates, just some one-on-one time, some good back and forth going on, I can tell you that both are full-on election mode right now, full-on in their groove, as it were. And having closed primaries is forcing this to move up a little bit. As you're making your way through the hallways, nobody's really stepping out of bounds here and providing bulletin board material for the other campaign. And I did not run into more candidates in that race than just those two. Those were the two that I saw. I had some great one-on-one time. Just a fantastic, completely off the record conversation with Julia Letlow. But my takeaway was, if I had questions about her readiness to make this run, she's ready to make the run. I'm not saying one way or another as to who is the best candidate in that race. That's not my job to endorse candidates, and I don't endorse individual candidates. But I can tell you she's primed and ready for this. One of the questions about Julia Letlow running has been she really hasn't had a contested race thus far. She's won re-election in pretty easy fashion up there in the 5th. This is going to be a different beast. Now, as far as Senator Cassidy's concerned, it's like he hit a switch. There's the normal Senator Cassidy who is aiming to, bring dollars back from Washington, D.C. to help in Louisiana on numerous different fronts. The fentanyl fight is a big one. Rebuilding after disasters, we see it regularly. Working with the president, which is what his first ad was all about. We see it regularly. This is a different mode. This is like he shifted into another gear. So be ready for it. The next 5 months, 4.5 months until May, and then you got another one in June for the runoff. Closed primaries have changed the game a little bit when it comes to how and when candidates really, really accelerate. So I'm on the lookout for a lot of it. But there wasn't as much political scuttlebutt of talking about who might do this, who might do that, because of the earlier time frame. Most of the talk, or at least most of the talk that I was involved in, surrounded the economic development announcements. When Woodside Energy says they're going to dump $17 billion into Southwest Louisiana, I'm totally here for it. When the governor starts the whole thing off by saying, workforce, get ready for it. And oh, by the way, one of the biggest reasons I go to Washington Mardi Gras is it's my first pregame for the upcoming legislative session. So get ready for that. Workforce. Hour 3 is next. So me and Franz's buddy Stu is Stuart Gray he somewhere along the way adopted the nickname Stew Juice because he makes like barbecue sauce and whatnot, or like just make it. So no, it's like from different cooking things. He adopted the nickname Stew Juice. So he was the one that sent over the story about the shark. And when I mentioned it was Stu who sent me the story about the shark, Franz, we had a group chat going with a bunch of us. Stu got a radio shout out this morning. I will be using the word juice on the radio to honor that shout out. We got all the way to the last 20 seconds of the him being here, and he hadn't mentioned juice yet at all. So when I said with dating, is the juice worth the squeeze? Just had to get in the shout out. It seems to drop off after 7:30 when most people are either at work or on their way to work. I've kind of accepted that's the natural flow of things. I appreciate that, Renee. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Braylon producing. Starting off the 8 o'clock hour at 31 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge in the friendly confines of the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. Learn more at 180pros.com. Busy third hour coming your way. It's not just Monday, it's Moon Day. We'll talk about everything under the sun with Moon Griffon coming up at 8:15. In fact, probably now's as good a time as any to reiterate. We're going 3 hours of Moon starting today, y'all. 3 hours of Moon starting today. Groundhog Day. It's couldn't be a better time for it, right?
Right.
You get 6 more weeks of winter and 1 more hour of Moon.
Ooh.
Also, and we need to connect with Eric real soon. Making a change in the afternoons. Starting today, Eric Erickson coming your way from 4 to 6. Eric is a conservative talk show host, a nationally syndicated conservative talk show host. But here's the thing. He's also a local. He's from Clinton, Louisiana. So, East Fell boy in the house. We'll get Eric Erickson coming your way from 4 to 6 this evening. Right now, though, we hit up this day in history.
All right, stepping way back into time before we dive into more of a present time, which I had no idea about this one. In 1349, way back when, by this date, at least 200 people a day were being buried in London as a result of the Black Death. And the only reason why this is on my news story, you heard about it later on in the 1700s. I didn't know 1349.
Wow. Yeah.
Jeez. I know. Okay, 1848, Louisiana holds early discussions on establishing a state railroad system.
Okay. And now, in 2026, that's still an asset of the state when it comes to transportation and logistics, when it comes to recruiting and economic development. You heard Susan Bourgeois talk about it Friday morning.
Yep. 1901, Queen Victoria's funeral takes place in St. George Chapel, Windsor Castle, England. 1931, construction pushes forward on the new Louisiana state capitol.
Cool.
State records on this day show active work continuing on the soon-to-be tallest Capitol building in the U.S. Yep, the project, of course, championed by Huey P. Long.
Yeah.
1954, President Eisenhower announces the detonation of the world's first hydrogen bomb. 1959, Buddy Holly's last performance was in Clear Lake, Iowa. 1959, Vince Lombardi signs a 5-year contract to coach NFL Green Bay Packers.
Oh, wow. How'd that work out?
Right. 1970, Louisiana State University's Pete Maravich becomes the first to score 3,000 college basketball points.
Did so without a three-point line. Also wasn't allowed to play varsity ball as a freshman.
Real? I didn't know that.
Run the numbers. I've been seeing this on social media, and I gotta find out the veracity of it. But apparently Dale Brown charted all of Pete Maravich's points. Like, go back and take each shot that he made, and he would have had well over 5,000 points had there been a three-point line. He would have averaged well over 50 points a game had there been a three-point line. No, it was ridiculous. The level to which he was the greatest college basketball player ever. And, obviously not going to get his love.
And we have a PMAC now.
Well, yeah.
Of course. 1980s, LSU scientists published early February findings on coastal land loss.
Yeah. Covered that a lot up at Washington Mardi Gras.
Really?
Oh, well, restore the Mississippi River Delta and the Pontchartrain Conservancy and National Wildlife. They're all, great partners with us when we go up there. So we get the chance to talk about a little bit about, what's going on in the latest to put our coast back together, a little coastal restoration and protection.
Yeah. 1986, the New Orleans Saints officially announced Jim Mora as head coach.
Playoffs? And that's not even his best rant. The playoff rant is probably everybody's favorite. Jim Mora, viral. He was viral before there was viral, right? But while the playoff rant was awesome, the one where he is the voodoo doll of the referee and he takes it apart is probably my second favorite. Playoffs is my third. Voodoo doll with the referee is my second favorite. My favorite is when he's telling a reporter you have no idea what's going on the sideline or in the locker room. And he rips the guy to pieces. And I can't remember who the reporter is, but he's just continually saying, you don't know. You don't know. You think you know, but you don't know.
I'm going to have to go YouTube this.
Oh, it is brutal. It is epic. I love every second of it.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
2019 American singer R. Kelly arrested after turning himself in on 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, including 3 minors.
Okay.
That was a huge story when it broke, too.
It was.
All right. 2021, Jeff Bezos announces he is stepping down as CEO of Amazon after 30 years.
Okay.
Let's see. 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden signs executive orders to reunite immigrant families, setting up a whole new task force, the whole ordeal.
Okay.
And then
families that were separated under Trump or under Obama?
It doesn't.
I know
say.
it's not going to say.
It ain't
it's not going to say.
That's all I got. What about you?
So on this day in 1887, well, you know what? We'll wait for national days because something happened for the first time on 1887.
Really?
This day in 1653. Excuse me. This day in 1653, New Amsterdam was incorporated.
I didn't know that.
Do you know what New Amsterdam is?
I know it's a country.
No. Amsterdam. No, New Amsterdam later became known as New York City.
Oh.
New York City was incorporated as a city on this day in 1653.
Well,
there you go.
Okay. Birthdays today. Shakira is 48. Let's see. Al McKay. He was a former member of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Dundee. He was born on this day in 1948.
Where?
New Orleans.
Correct.
All right, let's see. Melvin Williams, former New Orleans Saints defensive end, born 1979 on this day.
Don't know him.
Played in the NFL, including time with the Saints.
Okay.
Well,
there's some that don't have to make the cut.
I know.
Okay.
But... All right, let's see. Notable deaths on this day. Let's see.
Hang on. We're not done with birthdays yet because you left out Christy Brinkley.
I did not see her on
You
my
left
list.
out former Washington Redskin Dexter Manley was born on this day in 1958. Irish author James Joyce, born on this day in 1882. And George Halas, while we're talking football, born on this day in 1895.
Okay.
Nope.
Gene Kelly passed away on this day, unfortunately, 1996. Let's see. Going on down. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yep.
A suspected drug overdose at the age of 46.
In 2014.
Yep.
And back up to 1979, Sid Vicious died on this day. And back up to February 2nd, 1918, had a lot of New Orleans ties here, boxer John L. Sullivan died.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And notable days, you have one, but can't leave out the groundhog.
Well, that's the one I have.
Okay.
Groundhog Day was first celebrated on this day in 1887.
I didn't know it was way back when.
Oh, yeah.
And they always held up Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, there's been, I mean
numerous ones, but it was always his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know. Can't imagine they ever had another,
Fred.
Another mascot.
Right.
814 Talk 107.3 FM. We're running long again. Okay, quick break. When we come back, we talk about everything under the sun with Moon. Moon Griffon joins us next. Joe Biden. Oh, my God, John, you're so right. John is so right. Oh, my God, I'm mad at myself. My favorite Jim Mora rant was the "we suck" diddly poo when he did in 96. As much as I hate that we lost the game, that rant was worth it. We couldn't do diddly poo on offense. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't catch the ball. Oh, my God. He was so good.
Junior college team, a college team, much less an NFL team. When you turn the ball over 5 times, 4 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, 3 others in field position to set up touchdown, you ain't gonna beat anybody I just talked about. Anybody. All right? And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the freaking game. In my opinion, that sucked. You can't turn the ball over 5 times like that. Holy crap. I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that. Unbelievable. 5 turnovers. One of them, we threw 4 interceptions per touchdown this year. That might be an NFL record. That's pitiful. I mean, it's absolutely pitiful to perform like that. Pitiful. What's that? The playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game. Well, I'll start off.
Playoffs? Where's Moon?
Well, I got to bang out a live read anyway, so. Yeah, there will never be another like Jim Mora. Yeah. $8:17 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. While we wait on connecting with Moon Griffon, let me remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com, been a community bank since 1897. That is a long time to be committed to a mission and successful and thriving in said mission. What's exactly what they do? They're a part of your community, a member of your community. If you go to LandmarkBankLA.com, hit the About Us tab to find the locations, because location is everything here, because they are a community bank. When you talk about having a community bank, you have a banker, someone you can rely on, someone who you can sit down with, someone who helps you find the path to where you want to be in life. Whether you're talking about borrowing, whether you're talking about lending, whether you're talking about investing, whether you're talking about saving, they've got you covered. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website and the place to get started. I'm texting him right now. I don't know where he's at. But yeah, same thing for business is personal. LandmarkBankLA.com. If you're a small business owner, I don't need to tell you about the importance of having a banker. All right. If you've been through COVID and the PPP process, you already know what's up. LandmarkBankLA.com. Hoping to connect with Moon Griffon here. He actually does have a lot more show prep to do today, because we're going 3 full hours starting today. You got Moon from 9 till noon. And then also starting today, launching in the 4 p.m. hour, 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock this afternoon, your drive home, is now going to be Eric Erickson, the Eric Erickson Show, right here on Talk 107.3 FM. We'll be changing the areas. We'll be changing things up just a little bit. Great run with Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins, but when we had the opportunity to bring someone on who's from here, obviously we're going to take that to give us a little bit better of a closer look at what's going on. I mean, yes, it's still a national show, and you're going to get national perspective, but at the same time, though, you're getting it from a guy who's from right here in Louisiana. So, all right, we are starting it off this morning, 9 till noon. It's not just Monday, it's Moon Day. Moon, welcome back, brother. How are you?
Hey, Brian, sorry about that. I'm doing great. I literally stepped out and somebody grabbed me, and I should have took my phone. I apologize.
Nah, you're all good, brother. You're all good. All right, let's start with this. I had Washington Mardi Gras last week, and I got to tell you, there was very, very little political scuttlebutt going on. It really feels like moving up close primaries has candidates, at least those who are running this year, kind of in that more campaign mode than announcement mode. So it really felt like the entire time I was there, no bulletin board material, no no sideways announcements. It was a lot of real campaigning.
Yeah, and I figured you probably would, Brian, because in a normal election, people would be looking at this next fall. There would be no real reason to do, what they normally do.
Right.
it kind of changed up a little bit. And I think one of the surprises, though, one of the guys you didn't see was Blake Miguez, and I'm a little surprised about that. He's pulled back some, and I don't know what it means. I haven't talked to Blake, but I just hadn't seen him. All of a sudden, when the announcement came that Trump endorsed, I'm going, where's Blake?
Yeah.
Because I figured Blake is in this for the long run. I mean, I hope he is. I don't want anybody to drop out. I still think there's going to be some drop out. I hope he's not one of them because I think he's laid the groundwork. But, I don't know if it's affecting or not. Julie Emerson's out. Qualifying is next week. So it's still interesting to see who's in this race. I don't think we have any dark horse jump in late. I do not think that. I think Julia Ledlow was not a dark horse, but was the late comer. I don't think you'll have any more. So I think the field's set except for people that might leave. And I'm not saying Blake's leaving, and I'm not saying it at all, but I was a little surprised. People said, where's Blake? Where's Blake? I said, man, I'm not there. I don't know. I said, maybe he's there. He just hadn't seen him. And then I found out I don't think he was there at all. So I hope he stays in the race. But, we'll see what happens.
Well, so I didn't see Blake Miguez up there. I didn't see John Fleming up there either. I don't
Fleming was up there because I had gotten calls from people who said John was there. I know Letlow was there. I know Bill Cassidy was there.
Okay.
And I can't say any other candidates were up there. But Fleming was up there because, like I said, I was just getting calls from people and random say, hey, so-and-so, I talked to so-and-so. So I think he was. But like I said, Blake may have been there. I don't think he was. But he was one of the ones that said, well, what about Miguez? And they said, I didn't see him. I said, okay, maybe he wasn't there, but you tell me you didn't see Fleming. So big place, a lot of people who knows.
Well, now I will say this, though. So there's a lot that happen. Most of the things happen at the Washington Hilton, but there's some breakaway spots. And one of the breakaway spots where a lot of the politicos will like mingle after Louisiana Live on Thursday night. Because of all the snow, I didn't make my way over there. So that was one where I probably could have put a better stamp on it, but when I tell you there was 12 to 18 inches worth of snow pushed off to the side of the road and finding Ubers was difficult, I was like, you know what, Brian, just call it a night. Start fresh tomorrow.
Well,
so
have you ever seen snow that much, Brian? I mean, you're a Louisiana boy. I've never seen it that high. I was there for the inauguration of George W. Bush, and there had a lot of snow everywhere. We actually stood in the snow and watched, but that was about as much as I've ever seen until we got last year in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But was that the most you ever seen at one time?
By far the most I've ever seen. Not just the most, but the most sustained. Moon, it snowed on Sunday. I'm there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. When I left Saturday, those piles of ice and snow on the side of the road were just as high as they were when I got there on Wednesday. The temperature never got anywhere near freezing, much less above it to melt any of this off. So it was rough going the whole way.
Was the attendance as big as it usually is? I read one report said it wasn't quite as big because we had problems down here.
So, 2 years ago, I believe was an anomaly. 2 years ago, attendance was through the absolute roof. Last year, attendance dropped off because we had the blizzard. This year was a little bit higher than last year, but not as big as 2 years ago. So kind of in that middle ground right there. It was pretty packed in the lobby, to be sure.
Yeah, I figured you would. I'm just, it's a good time. My bride is on me to go again. I had made one. She's made 3 or 4.
Okay.
We'll see. Every year is different. I know you enjoy going, and I'm sure it's interesting. You do pick up stuff. You do learn stuff. And here's the best part about it. Most people in a Mardi Gras fun, have a good time mode. You don't really get into political shenanigans as much. You might hear something, but you don't really get into anything. It's kind of a fun mode no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on.
Why? And this was the first year I didn't hear any of the who's going to run for what stuff. So, everyone I've been to before that, or even in off years, even in non-election years, the who's going to run for what stuff. Now, what this year was, Moon, I definitely got a good look at what I think is going to happen during the upcoming legislative session. So, and we'll learn more next Wednesday at Lobby's annual meeting for sure. And then Pelican Institute Solution Summit. And by that time, we can pretty much predict all the bills that are going to come down the pipe. But be on the lookout for a lot of workforce issues.
Yeah, I'm going to be at Lobby with you again.
Yep.
So that's always good to go learn a little bit. Like I said, the Pelican Institute, they do a really good job of trying to get these I got Dan Yershbaum on today to talk a little bit about it. But one of the things that Yershbaum and them do, they do a great job of setting the agenda. and I tell Daniel all the time, and he agrees with it. The problem is you can set the agenda, but it's got to be made and done within the legislature, and that's always the hard part. These guys do a great job. They do a lot of work and a lot of information, and you can get behind the scenes, but the legislature and the governor has to be on the same page, and then they got to get it through the legislature, and that's the hard part.
Talk with Moon Griffon, host of the Moon Griffon Show. So today starts 3 hours of Moon right here on Talk 107.3 FM. How's the prep changing up to get to that third hour? I mean, I know you've always locally had a third hour, but do you change things up a little bit now that you're broadening the platform?
Brian, I'm going to do what I've been doing because I've always changed it up on a third hour. Sometimes I have no guests. Sometimes I might guest up a couple of 3 guests.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do it a little bit more national, where you got people that are talking all over the country, people you heard of, people that's been on Fox and CNN and things of that nature. So I'm going to probably keep it pretty much the same format on the third hour, but I do try to adjust it and change it some from the first 2 hours. But, I expand here, and I'm also expanding in New Orleans today.
Yep.
And so I'm really excited about it. I mean, I've expansion in Baton Rouge because of the opportunity guarantee it's given us. It's been a real blessing, and I appreciate it, man. It's good to go into Baton Rouge, where I was born and raised right there in Plaquemine, but I went to Redemptus, and it's good to go around and see people and meet new people all the time, and got a lot of family there, and it kind of makes it for a fun day. But yeah, it's I do really try to change that hour up. I'm sure I'm not gonna do anything different, but I've been doing 3 hours now for about 3+ years. So it's kind of in my blood already. So the same prep as far as amount of time goes into it, because I always look at it, Brian, I think you agree with me, and you're doing 3 hours. The third hour has to bring the same enthusiasm, the same fun, the same hard-hitting news that the first hour does.
No,
and
absolutely.
If you don't do that, you'll lose everybody.
Yep.
And the goal is not to lose. The goal is to get as big audience as you possibly can get.
We got Moon Griffon with us for another minute or so, so let's take that last minute to tease up the show. You said Earth Bombers on. Who else you got?
I got Earthform on. I may have somebody with the redistricting. I'm still really upset about no effort to get rid of the Cleveland district. And Brian, you are too. It's just fact is a lot of people. And I got another guest I'm working on for a national program dealing with Minnesota and stuff like that. But some of these guests come in late for me.
Sure.
And if I get that on, they'll talk a little bit about what's going on in Minnesota and the shenanigans that are being played there, especially with ICE and things of that nature. So that's just some of the things that we try to do a little different.
Yeah, the redistricting thing is going to start to bubble up a heck of a lot more.
Well, I'm disappointed there's been no effort by any Republican, not one Republican to ever change anything. And here we go. And I think Cleo Fields, I'm thinking it's going to be the same district, and we're going to run on it because nobody did anything about it.
And that's it's looking more and more like that. It's disappointing though. Someone needs to at least take a swing. Even if you don't get redistricted, put somebody in there who could take a swing at bringing that seat back around to an R. I know when you look at the map, it doesn't look like it would play out that way. But what's the old adage, Moon? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Well, this is the thing too, Brian, and we don't probably look at it this way, but that gerrymandered district, which is gerrymandered bad.
Oh yeah.
It made the 5th congressional district screwed up too.
Well, yeah.
Because now we got a race between some Baton Rouge folks and some Monroe folks. Okay, and I got to tell you, Baton Rouge would like to have their own representatives if they could. I think y'all got 3 now, and I'm gonna count Cleo Fields as one. But that district is really, really messed up. And now we can lose a congressional seat after 2030. If we do, how's that seat gonna look then?
Right.
It's just messed. It's all messed up if you ask me.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. He's coming up 9 to noon. It is Moon Day on Talk 107.3 FM. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
I'll do my damnedest to moon him.
Here's the news. Oh, shit. That's fun. Well, did we cancel the meeting today?
We did, because our next meeting is at the GMB. So Gordy doesn't want to meet this week.
Okay. Shit, which I'm not going to be at. So I'm broadcasting live from Lobby's conference, and I'm supposed to be at Lobby's conference all day long, or until they break it too.
Well, send me. I'm sure Kate can handle talk, but if there's anything important, I'll get Kate to make sure he announces it.
Yeah. So I want to make a splash with your presence in launching the Moral Dilemma Monday. Just as the show continues to grow. I'll work all that out. I'm not worried about it. It's going to get done.
Probably be the one to speak on that. Yeah, let Kate.
Yeah, of course.
Get him to any copy points. And I have a picture of us.
And yeah, a recap of what.
With a king cake, you, me, and somebody with a king cake, because I don't really get the picture, but I have that one.
All right. When we're doing, well, I guess we don't do two cameras at one time, do we?
I've been playing around with them more for this day in history.
Well, get a screen grab of when we're both on camera so that we're both working. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me do that. Now email it to you, Kate.
Yeah.
I'll try to fire me out.
And we'll get a graphic made for Moral Dilemma Monday so that it can be presentable in the slideshow. That's. I'm thinking about getting rid of that, by the way, because it eats up time. It's a 7.5 minute segment, and it doesn't need to be 7:10. I would rather move it towards.
Maybe we can just have.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm debating it. I don't know. It might stick. It's awesome, but it's.
You produced that yourself?
No, I told them where everything needed to go, though. By the way, LRN 4, 5, and 6 for the final segment. Throw them away. We're gonna do something different.
Is New Orleans calling me?
Walt should be calling you. Yes. Where's my notes for it? Shit. That's Medical Monday. How we go? Yeah, the hotline's right on there for him. So. Oh, quick. Can you go to YouTube and look up Rockin' 1000 New Orleans? See if there's anything in there that, if not, no big deal, but
anchored by the performance and reliability of the Civic, Accord, and CR-V, Honda has again been named the best.
that's New Orleans?
This was the 30-second promo for it.
Is there footage from it? That's him.
Hi, good morning. Talk from the 7:30. Yeah. Yes, sir. We'll be coming to you in about 2 minutes. So this, they have footage of that. Hold on, they got entertainment.
Let's see. Yeah, play that as a bumper coming in. All right. That is not going to do it justice. That is not going to do anywhere near justice. That's third-party audio, but the way it sounded and the Caesars Superdome for the Rockin' 1000. Some footage got posted up to YouTube. The Rockin' 1000 made its U.S. debut in New Orleans. Joining us now to talk about that and a number of other things, we've got Walt Leger from New Orleans and Company with us. Walt, welcome back, brother. How are you? All right. Now, Walt, we got you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic. What's happening, buddy?
Just about everything. I mean, we're back home from Washington, D.C. Got to see you very, very briefly over at the Washington Hilton as you were on your way out to the Rockin' 1000. Before we recap the historic night that was in the Caesars Superdome, take me back to Washington Mardi Gras. Walk me through a little bit about, what your mission was there and, who you saw, what got done.
Well, I mean, Washington Mardi Gras is one of those really special events where so many prominent leaders from across the state of Louisiana come together, trying to influence leaders in Washington for the benefit of our communities, but also a great opportunity to reconnect with people all over the state. So for us at New Orleans and Company, the added benefit is that many of our most important customers, associations, medical conferences, and others are headquartered in Washington, D.C. So our sales team has an opportunity to touch base with them. We host a lunch while we're up there with about 25 of our biggest customers, and that was really successful this year despite some of the weather challenges.
Yeah.
And then we also bring them to Louisiana Live and let them get a little taste of Louisiana as well. So it's a great event from a customer standpoint. We got to spend time with city leaders, with state leaders, and then ultimately one of the highlights was a meeting with the president of the U.S. Travel Association and our new mayor, Helena Moreno, to be able to discuss a number of different topics impacting travel, but also the IPW conference that U.S. Travel will bring to New Orleans next year, one of the largest international travel conferences on the planet. And we're excited to play host to that. And getting the mayor acclimated to some of those priorities was also a great opportunity.
So you have the added benefit. Normally, when I'm having Washington Mardi Gras conversations, it's all under the roof of the Washington Hilton. But y'all are able to branch out, do some extracurriculars off campus there as well to get business done. Talk to me a little bit about how effective that is when it comes to, okay, you're already meeting with people at the Hilton, and then getting out and spreading the word outside, outside of those, those four walls.
Yeah, I mean, the event's gotten really big. Frankly, it's really stretched out across the community in so many ways. And I spent an hour and a half with a reporter from the Washington Post telling her about all the things happening in our city. So we really try to build a holistic approach to what we're doing in D.C., trying to take advantage of the government leadership, the private sector leadership, the media, and every other angle we can play. But so we had some events over at the Willard Hotel. We had events at restaurants throughout the community, and the Waldorf Astoria has also become sort of a central character in Washington Mardi Gras as well. So people really are trying to move all over the community. Again, that was a little challenging this year with some of the weather conditions and ice and snow, but ultimately it's really become a much broader event than just being based at the Washington Hilton, although that is the center of the activity.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely is. Now, you had to bounce early, come home for the Rockin' 1000. Give me the full report card.
Yeah, it was it was everything that I expected to be and more. An incredible musical experience. Really, a lot of joy. Really thrilled to have the star power of Hoda Kotb and Harry Connick Jr. to really kick the thing off. That was really special. And then people from throughout the community supporting it as well. Roots of Music, St. Aug Marching Band, little surprises that made it local. And then, of course, 1,000 musicians from all over the world, more than 25 countries, 48 states. The only time that 1,000 musician group will ever be together in one place. And as it was described to me, I mean, the sound from 1,000 musicians at once is just incredibly powerful. There's a physical impact on your body that you feel from that music that is really, really special. And so it was a really incredible cultural, collaborative musical experience. And I have a feeling that's going to really spread as they go around the rest of the United States and have success. But it was a real honor. And I think that the city of New Orleans played host to the inaugural Rockin' 1000 in the United States. And I think they felt it. I know we did. And really great night.
Is there a concern that New Orleans set the bar too high?
Well, I think I would say this. The attendance wasn't exactly where we would have liked it to be.
Weather concerns played in.
Weather, and also I think people still learning about the event. So, I think from a musical standpoint, we set a really high bar, and that's what we do. We want to make sure that UNESCO Creative City of Music designation really means something. We want to make sure that our cultural power shows through when we have events like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think setting a high bar is a great thing. I do think there's room for them to grow as people learn more about the event. In some ways, we also understood that being the inaugural kickoff had great value from a promotional standpoint. And we wanted to be that place that kicked it off, but we understood that there was a learning curve to helping people understand what it is. So, in some ways, high bar. In other ways, I think room to grow. And we wish them the best. I'm hopeful that relationship will endure because they're a really special group of people who have a really incredible product. And it was a great partnership. Proud of our team for making it happen.
We got Walt Leger from New Orleans and Company on with us. All right, let's pivot over because it is Carnival season. It is Mardi Gras time. Talk to me a little bit about what we're expecting for this year's Mardi Gras.
Things are shaping up to be really strong. I mean, we know that this is an incredible annual celebration, unlike any other. But the fact that it falls on President's Weekend this year creates a little bit of additional onus for folks to get into town and experience it with us. So we're certainly leaning into that and looking forward to welcoming people into the community. But mostly, I think people are just gearing up. I mean, this is not only is it a global iconic event, it's also a annual family and friends sort of tradition where people come together to really spend quality time with one another and celebrate the joy that our community brings. So I think everybody's really excited about it this year. It's shaping up to be strong. We certainly are on pace to meet and or exceed what we've been doing the past few years, mid-90s for occupancy throughout the second weekend of Mardi Gras, of course, and high attendance as well the first weekend. So it's an exciting time.
No, absolutely it is. And you get a bit of a trade-off here because, yes, it is a little bit of an earlier Mardi Gras, but when you mix in, like you said, President's Weekend, but also there's separation between Easter, like between spring break. So the chance for, you're not making a decision on travel, you can actually double up travel by pushing it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it is certainly sneaking up on us pretty quickly. Yeah. And I was, waking up this morning, getting the kids to school and just thinking, we got 2 weeks until Mardi Gras. It's nuts. It's been a sprint for the early part of the year so far, and just intensifying now. So, agreed. I think we're hopeful that we'll get a little warm up, and it looks like the weather is trending that way in the short term anyway. So we'll see how that plays over the next couple of weeks. But certainly, it is shaping up to be a good one. We feel like we've had a lot of king cake this year already, and king cake just continues to get more and more popular, more and more competition, more and more producers of it, and the word is spreading. So it's it's been great. We're definitely looking forward to it, and I think it is. People are understanding more and more how incredible this event is, how sophisticated it is, and how impressive it is that the city comes together to throw this party for the world. So many different Mardi Gras organizations that operate in their own silo, but then ultimately collaborate with city leaders and state leaders and law enforcement and so many other entities to produce such an incredible, unmatched event.
Keeping it with Mardi Gras, keeping it with Walt Leger from New Orleans and Company. Now, like you said, it's a party for the world, absolutely. But those of us who are local, those of us who would be, day trippers to hop on in, we're not forgotten in this mix.
No, we're the central players. I think we're the ones that people visit and look at and say, wow, these people really know how to live. And to your point, we know this year that we've talked a little bit about the Mardi Gras train line, Amtrak, that's opened up between New Orleans and Mobile, and they've added some extra service because they recognize that mode of transportation is going to create some additional opportunity for people to come in and experience it this year. So absolutely, our day trippers, our regional visitors, essential to the experience, and the people who know this event the best and who we know look forward to it the most. So excited to have the raving fans of Mardi Gras in to celebrate with us as well as people from all over the place experiencing it for the first time. But certainly those of us who have had the benefit of doing it year after year, I do think we've got to find those moments where where we remember just how special this is.
Oh, no, absolutely. The fact that we're not going to say we're spoiled, but the fact that we're here regularly, we can take it for granted from time to time.
Oh, we are. We certainly take it for granted. And then hopefully at times we have those moments where we realize how special the moment is. I've got a highlight coming up personally this year with a very special event on Friday, the 13th at the Royal Sonesta. I'm going to be a celebrity judge for the greasing of the poles. So not sure how celebrity I am, but I'll do the best I can to judge with impartiality. The performers will be greasing the poles to make sure that people can't climb up onto the balconies. A really cool 56-year tradition at the Sonesta Hotel, and I'm pumped to be a part of that.
Well, you're right there in the picture with Harry Connick Jr. and Hoda Kotb and Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser and Fabio from Rockin' 1000. So, yeah, Walt Leger's in that celebrity category.
Well, I try to surround myself with excellence as much as I can. That's why we've got such a great team here. But those folks are really, that you mentioned, are really special. Fabio Zaffanini, the founder of Rockin' 1000, incredible. Offered some really encouraging and inspiring words about how special it is for 1,000 people to come together to play music all at once. And, at a time where people can feel isolated and separated, it really spoke to the power of being present and being in a specific place. And that's ultimately what travel's about. It's what our team is promoting and pushing out there, that the experience of coming together, of being in person with one another in community is really powerful and opens your eyes to new things and new experiences. And another reason why Rockin' 1000 was a cool one. And then, of course, Eric Connick and Hoda, both major global ambassadors for the special joy and the culture that our city shares with the world.
And that is exactly why you're built to host. He's Walt Leger from New Orleans and Company. Always appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, Brian. Catch up soon. Take care.
Absolutely. You too. Here's your money now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so a little bit of background. You get some behind the scenes stuff here. I was hustling my ass off to try and get the show on location from Greasing the Poles. I had everything on the other end all set. Royal Sonesta was ready to go. With Washington and Mardi Gras breathing down my neck, I couldn't make it all happen. So I think when we go into next year, no, the Greasing the Poles. The Friday before. So with so many people in the French Quarter over Mardi Gras weekend, with so many people in the French Quarter, when people are like trying to see what's going on, they used to climb the poles of the balconies and whatnot. So like 50 some odd years ago, people started greasing them so they couldn't climb them. So now the Royal Sonesta does this whole greasing of the poles. Like it's a whole to do. It's only the locals do. And that's why I wanted to do my show from there. And man, I got my contact to Royal Sonesta, wanted to make it happen. I wanted to make it happen. We were going to base content over the overall Mardi Gras weekend because they get started at 9:00 right after the show's done. And I was going to be on the balcony right freaking above them. I know.
I didn't hear too much about this Rockin' 1000 this year. Maybe I'm living under a rock, but
well, every time we've talked about it with every time New Orleans and Company has come on, I think they needed to buy advertising overall, like a big old, like in the surrounding area. They were advertising all over the place in New Orleans, but they could have done a better job of like,
that's what I was saying.
yeah.
Like, and we didn't give tickets away or nothing, did we?
No. So, I don't know.
That's that rate test.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, no. I know. I said get rid of that. Well,
Okay, so the rate test.
yeah.
Some made a lot more than this. Bombing a capital, blockading a country, and removing elected officials. We didn't remove an elected official. We removed someone who was not elected. And it was actually a died drug trafficker in the United States. The lead for U.S. government on foreign policy? No, the lead on U.S. foreign policy is named Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. We have not received any information on the Board of Peace. Do you commit to informing us about what the heck this is? Yeah, it's a Board of Peace. What is that criteria for returning to military options? I don't recall the president saying to put troops in Israel. Where did he say that? I'm asking you, what are your? But that's what you said. I didn't. The president has already said that he's ready to put.
856 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Got a couple of minutes before we got here. I want to revisit a couple of news stories from today. Before I do, though, got to remind you about One Bath and Closets. Oh, man. Did I ever miss my bathroom while I was gone? Yes, I missed my wife and kids. Yes, I absolutely missed my wife and kids. But you get in that Airbnb, like a little tiny little studio apartment right there, and turn on the shower, and it's just like, just barely coming out. The lighting's terrible. It's not made to like maximize the space. I got in that bathroom at that Airbnb, and I'm like, I really, really, really miss my bathroom. I didn't think I could miss a bathroom, but there it is. The work that David Duvall and his team do at One Bath and Closets makes you miss it when you're gone. Like, it's just that simple. I am now spoiled with the master bath that we got when we called 400-8005. Of course, that's area code 225-400-8005, or check out onebathandclosets.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, onebathandclosets.com. If you live in like an older house and it's time for an upgrade, time to bring your master bath up to 2026, David has got you covered. I can speak to it firsthand. Onebathandclosets.com. I kind of want to revisit a story that we had in Top Stories and Trending that we just kind of had to like skim right by there. The headline read, "Man arrested for allegedly promoting prostitution in a massage spa on North Sherwood Forest Boulevard." The story read, and Bree Lynn, I'm off my clock, so keep me on time, okay? East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office arrested a man for promoting prostitution in a massage spa on Friday. According to arrest records, an investigation was launched back on December 23rd. Friday was what? January 29th? So it was over a month-long investigation. The investigation was launched after 77 illicit ads were located online for Yee Massage Spa on North Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Following a November arrest at the location, employees in the area allegedly told deputies that customers now enter through the back door, so the business does not appear to be open. After entering the business on December 30th, deputies allegedly found evidence of sexual activity as well as drug use at the location. According to deputies, a worker named Al Lee Yu, 54 years old, who was arrested in 2022 for being involved with an illegal massage business at another location in Baton Rouge, allegedly admitted to performing massages without a massage therapist license. While in the business, deputies noticed a violation notice from the City of Baton Rouge Permits Office for operating the establishment on a state-suspended license. They also discovered that Ying Tan, the owner of Yee Massage, authorized another representative to run the business. Oh, my goodness. Y'all, is it just me, or the more we peel back the layers of the onion on these businesses, the more we're finding they're just pivoting their business model or method of operation? Did they literally just shut the front door and direct people in the back? And it took months to get that solved on the back end? Oh, my God. I'm glad they got it done. But, I mean, come on. It seems obvious. We're out. All right. I own Neurojustice Spot. The back end, the back door. All right, Facebook, we got to get out of here. I could use a good rub down. We'll see y'all later.